Hello everybody. Welcome back. It's here. We're here. Um it's yeah. All right. So episode 22. Um Party's going to commit a little bit of terror. The party's gone into the woods on behest of a druid group who requested Edna and the group to go and tone down a logging operation. They arrived in the woods, did some talking to the guy in charge of it all, and he was not willing to budge, not willing to change anything. In fact, he said, "No, we're not going to do that, and you can forget about it." That was unfortunate. But regardless, party's able to now find a little bit of a kind of rundown hovel to stay in for the time being until they can begin their acts. However, last session, three of the party members, being in Chiron, Seth, and Sapling, had gone off to investigate strange sounds and smells, turning out to be burning incense and singing from just over the hill. They saw that there was a woman there, someone that they knew, a witch known as Lady Death, who'd given them a little bit of a task to go on, which I think will be recapped here in a moment by the party members themselves. Uh, But while that was happening, Edna and Magnus, you had been staying at this little rundown shack, making sure that the perimeter was secure, um, and making sure that for the time being, until your assault of the logging operation, whatever you want to call it, um, you were making sure that you would not be bothered, and you are confident that you will not be. Um, the other three of your party members, in Chiron, Sapling, and Seth, were only gone for maybe uh, 20 to 30 minutes. So it wasn't all that long. Actually, I'm actually going to bump that up to closer to an hour. They were gone for about an hour. And it was getting to the point of concern. Um, Wondering if you should go check on them, and that's about when they arrive. Now, the three of you, after finishing up at the graveyard and mausoleum, make your way back to your little cabin. Um, on the way, you can see that the cabin you'd found Lady Death in lies silent and the lights off. Um, no sign of life that you can see. You make your way to your little cabin, however, and you can see um, the other two inside through one of the windows, which once you go in, how do you all appear? How did the three of you, as you approach, what do they? Is
I
there
look
any three
bad.
of you?
Yeah,
Looks
looking
bad.
looking rough.
I think Seth is the least injured, but his face says otherwise. He looks traumatized as shit.
Yeah, more so traumatized rather than beaten the shit out of. Only a little
I
bit
look
beaten the shit out of.
I look beaten up. And Chiron looks very beaten up.
God damn.
On a scale of 1 to 15, he's about at an 8, and 15 isn't even what his normal scale is.
Oh god.
And so the two of you, Magnus and Edna, you see the three of them walk in that state. What would be your reactions to that?
Should I ask what happened, or should we not talk about it?
I damned if I know if they want to tell us. What the
No, that was two down. Assuming they were walking in now.
Do one of you care to share what happened?
You don't have to. We can talk about it later.
I suppose I can share. we were given a task that would help us in our current task. So we decided to go on a little trip into a grave, and we fought a lot of skeletons, but they were more so one thing. And that's what happened to me. They also fell in some dirt.
Dirt.
Dirt did this?
It was bad. It was really bad.
But we have retrieved something that should help in our quest. And now I'm going to go to sleep. And he does.
Oh.
Chiron collapses in the nearest space that looks comfortable mildly, and you fall asleep.
Understandable.
Give that damned thing to Edna. I don't want to see it again.
And I will do that. I will take out this, was what, an amulet?
A shrunken
and
heart.
A heart.
Yes.
Before you can hand it to her, she puts
Okay.
her hands up and like steps back like what these did.
Edna,
It's
could you make me a nature check or a history
Oh.
check?
Are those both intelligent?
5, probably. I don't have that in front of me.
Let's go with that. It's an 8.
An 8. Okay. This thing, you can tell that the heart in the center is that of a small animal. It's too small to be a human heart. That is shriveled and shrunken, surrounded in twine and sticks. And I'll even add small carved rocks. But you have never, this doesn't ring any kind of bells for you.
I don't know what that is. I was not trained for this.
it's supposed to like oh, what was it? It'll help us. It'll summon this something, I think.
Little heart's going to summon something, and I'm just supposed to hold on to it.
Yep.
Eh. Well, this whole thing was already enough of a bad idea. Let's go for it. You'll take the amulet.
Yeah.
You've all apparently gotten traumatized, so who cares? We're all calm. And I was just like lost in thought for a second because I've run out of things to say.
Oh, for sure. You
Real.
take the amulet, and it does have a strange hum to it, as if it's very faintly vibrating.
Ugh.
It's a little unnerving. It does have a strange familiarity in a weird way. Not like something you've seen, but something you feel you've heard of, but you just can't. It's just at the tip of your tongue, but you can't think of what exactly it is.
Edna's gonna continue to think about it
Okay.
as it bothers her.
Okay. I'll say over the next little bit, kind of thinking it over, go ahead and make me another either nature or history check. And this would be over the next little bit because you have to at least wait for those that are taking a rest to do so. Which in Chiron, you're the one who fell asleep first. Are you attempting to get a long or short rest?
I'm attempting to get a long rest because
Okay.
that's when my max HP goes back to 23 instead of 15.
Okay. And what about the other two of you? Obviously, you can still do things beforehand, but are you two planning on getting a long rest as well? Seth is.
I'd like to.
Okay. And then Edna, what was your roll?
I got a 16.
Okay. Then I will tell you in a moment what that is and what it does and what you know of it. But is there anything during that time that anyone else would like to be doing? And Chiron, you're sleeping. What about the other two of you? Anything before you sleep?
I want to talk to Seth about our dirt nightmares.
Okay. Feel free.
He's probably gonna pull him aside because they don't need to know about our trauma. So, uh, what did you see, after you fell into the dirt? If you don't mind me asking.
Oh, um, I was in a house I don't recognize. And I heard knocking at one of the doors, but when I opened it, the place started filling with dirt. I couldn't leave because the dirt was completely surrounding the place. So I went in the attic. There was a window, but I couldn't get out that either. Not because of the dirt, but it just wouldn't open. I saw my mother's hand holding some note. I couldn't read it, though. And then the dirt covered me, and then I woke up. He's going to stop in the middle of talking, and he's going to reach up to try to touch you.
Okay.
Is this all real?
Yeah, it's real.
How do you know it's real?
Well, I guess I don't know, but what are the chances of it being fake and both of us being skeptical that it's fake?
I don't know. I've been through some weird stuff before. I was back in the cell.
Jeez.
What? What did Sapling say?
Jeez.
Ah. I just started questioning if I ever really left. If it all just been some fucked up dream or some weird shit the doctor did. And honestly, I don't know if I trust it anymore.
Well, damn. I'm so sorry. I don't know how to. Um, well, I think I'm real. I think all of this is real. Um, that helps. And I don't know. As long as we're all here, we won't let you go back to that place again. At least not of your own accord. I mean, if you want to beat the shit out of those people, I'm not gonna stop you. But
Maybe one day. Not too soon, though.
fair.
What about yours?
I was back at home, not New Hopeport, but my home before that, and I saw. Well, I was standing in a field, I think. I saw my papa, and I saw Sunny, and someone else. I'm not sure. It kind of looked like me, but like older and healthier. Um, but there was this wind, and the people were calling out to me, and I beckoning me, and I went to go over to them, but my hooves were stuck in the dirt, and I couldn't move. So I was like calling out to them um to come help me, but I don't think they could hear me. The wind was too strong. So I was just stuck. But then Ulrich walked out from behind me, and I asked him to help me, and he extended a hand, um, which in retrospect I might have been a bit too heavy for. But when I touched it, it was just like burning, like it was too hot. I couldn't hold on to it. Um,
Huh.
and then there was fire coming from the sky, and his face melted off, and it was really bad. Um, but then it it was well, I don't completely remember, but it was over. Um, and then I was at New Hopeport, and all the people there. Well, I couldn't find anyone at first, but then they were like avoiding me, and I I tried to go to them because that was horrible. With all the fire and stuff, I wanted to talk to someone, but everyone was just avoiding me, and then I don't remember how it ended.
Well, I won't avoid you. I don't think they will either.
Yeah, hopefully not. I don't know. It was weird.
We're not doing anything like that again, right?
Oh, I hope not. I mean, it seemed so sketchy from the get go, but it was like, like we can do this, we can get this, it'll help. I don't think we should have. I think that was a bad idea, and I think that we should not accept quests from people with strange tea anymore.
I mean, we probably shouldn't have anyways. We know how she is.
Do we know her?
You don't remember that either.
No.
It's when we met. She used to sell cookies in your hometown, or at least New Hope. And it turned out that she was like a hag. And she turned us all into toys temporarily.
Wait, so that was no.
That was her.
Oh my gosh. You think you know someone. I say ironically.
I guess you would think so, huh?
Oh well.
At least it's over now, right?
Yeah, hopefully. I think I'm just gonna stay away from that heart thing.
I don't really want to go too close to it either. I don't trust it. It smells weird.
Yeah. This whole thing has been sketchy. Honestly, I'm just excited to get home and see my friend and Ulrich.
I wish I had a home to go back to like that.
It
The
is
only
your
place I've
home.
ever known is
I mean, I meant the bastion. I probably shouldn't be calling it home yet, but what can I say? I get attached easily.
Is it? Is it home?
Well, we live there and we have rooms there, so it's at least a house.
I didn't think of it like that. The only place I've known as home was the lab.
It's not really a good home.
No, not a good family either. No matter what he says about it.
Well,
But you guys are nice. He's gonna
well,
kind of
that's
look over it in Chiron.
aw.
You guys are kind of like family. Even if I haven't known some of you as long.
It's all right. There's no rules on saying where your family is or where your home is.
Then I think, my home's wherever you guys are.
So sweet.
Uh,
You're such a dork. But I think the same thing.
Sapling, I have a question. Favor?
Mm-hmm.
Could I maybe sleep over here with you?
Sure.
He's going to end up curling up next to Sapling.
Oh.
All right. Well,
Lumpy.
and then the two of you settle down for rest. And what about Magnus? Is there anything that you wish to be doing during this time? Don't necessarily have to, but if there is anything you want to do, I want to give you the opportunity. If you are saying anything, I cannot hear you. Ah, poof. Ah, poof.
They couldn't make this week.
You couldn't make this week, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh no. It's even funnier because I have a thing on Discord right now, so like I can't hear any like Discord notification sounds or someone leaving. So all of a sudden, just poof, poof, just in out. Oh
That's
no.
brutal.
Gosh.
We'll come back to that. We'll come back to them.
Retroactively, is there anything you would have liked to have done?
Yeah, because like I still have to go over Edna. You have an item. Um,
Yes.
so with your roll, the name is failing you. It's it's something old though. That it is part of a ritual that certain druidic circles will use um for protection. Specifically, the protection granted by nature itself, granted by the forces that exist there. what you can do with this item. And if you'd like, you can take part of the 8 hours of them taking a long rest to attune. After I tell you this, you can choose to do that if you wish, because it does require attunement. You can use it to use the Conjure Minor Elemental spell. You can cast it once, and there is a rule. I'll send all this to you, but I'm just going to kind of say it out now. Basically, you can cast it once. It takes an action to do so, as opposed to the normal minute of the spell. However, you then have to roll a d4, and that is how many days you have to wait until you can use it again. So, for example, let's say I cast it using an action, you roll a d4, I got a 3, so that means you have to wait 3 days to use it again. That is the drawback. Normally it takes a minute to cast. This is only an action, but it takes a little longer before you can use it again.
Okay.
So it can do that. In addition, whatever, let's say, for example, you summoned a, I'm trying to pull it up here. Let's say you summoned like a fire elemental. You would gain resistance to fire damage while it is on the field. Now, per the spell, you can summon multiple elementals depending on their challenge rating. If you were to summon more than one elemental, you have to choose one of the damage types. So, for example, you couldn't summon 4 elementals of challenge rating 1/2 or lower and then get all of their resistances. You have to choose one of them. And when that one dies that you chose the resistance from, you lose the resistance even if there are others still on the field. Does that make sense?
Am I getting the resistance from the item, or is that from the spell?
It is from the item. The spell does not give you that. The
Okay, so
item
the item gives me
does.
resistance for whatever elemental I summon.
For whichever elemental you summoned. If there's multiple elementals, you
I
pick
have to
one.
pick one. Okay,
Yes.
cool. That makes sense.
Which, yes, I'll get that all over to you here soon. Probably while I'm going over some other things here in a second. But that is what you have in your possession. The name, I'll say, with that roll alone, the name evades you. Do you wish to attune to this?
Sure. Sounds fun.
Okay. So you take an hour, you attune to the item, and you know its properties. And so now you know how to use it. It is an amulet. It has basically a twine wrapped around it, so you can wear it around the neck or in some other place. I suppose you don't technically have to wear it as an amulet, but that is how it is designed. Excuse me. But yeah, it's basically just like a twine and stick little charm with a shriveled up small beast heart in the center. Very strange, but there are definitely druidic magics coming off of it that you can tell, especially once attuned. This does not give you the vibe of it being cursed necessarily. It gives you more of just this is a natural thing. With the remainder of the time you have, because you have a good like 5-6 hours, is there anything that you wish to do? Any looking around the area, or do you just kind of wait while the others rest?
I want to use Druidcraft. I just want to make sure I'm using. Sorry. I want to do I want to use Druidcraft to predict the weather for
Okay.
the next 24 hours in my location.
On your location, you begin to focus on the weather and kind of like what seems like it's going to be. I would say you can tell that it's probably going to be rain. It doesn't feel like a heavy rain, but definitely rain.
Okay. So I cast Druidcraft and a little like cloud appears or something.
Yeah.
Like a rain cloud appears in my hand, basically.
Yeah.
Because that's what it
Essentially.
creates, like a little harmless effect.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, definitely. It basically predicts what the weather. The effect might manifest as a golden orb. Yeah, I would say a cloud. and it kind of like drops a little bit of rain onto your hand, just a little bit of water down onto your palm.
It's annoying. Other than that, I think Edna's just gonna chill.
Okay. Predicting the weather and chilling. All right. Now Magnus, if your stuff's working, hopefully it is. Is there anything that you wish to do during this time? You have about 8 hours.
I don't think so at the moment. I don't really have anything in mind for what Magnus could do. Maybe just
Okay.
be standing around and keeping guard. Really?
Perfect. Go ahead. Actually, I'll have you make me a perception check.
Huh.
Just kind of,
Okay.
like you said, just kind of sit and keeping an eye, see if you see anything of note.
Okay. Here we go. Let me. Oh, okay, there we go. Found it. That was an 11. To
11.
my perception. Yes.
Okay. So you start to kind of just as you're sitting there looking around, you see, of course, this new group that you're traveling with, people you don't really know a whole lot, but they don't seem to be a threat necessarily, at least not right now. Um, one of them, the uh, more fish-looking person you know to be Seth, cuddled up with the centaur sapling. Um, and Chiron, the old man, sleeping in the other corner, absolutely just fucking just fucking snoring up a storm. Um, and then
That'd be
I'd
funny.
say about this point, Edna would be focusing on the attunement for the item, and then you watch the small storm cloud appear in the hand, and a little bit of a look of annoyance. Um, but you don't notice anything concerning outside any of the windows. It's quiet. Um, and time passes uneventfully.
That's good. I think that's perfect.
Mhm. So all of you that are taking a long rest, finish your long rest, and those of you that didn't, um, are able to just through general sitting down and doing things like you've been doing, Magnus and Edna, you would be considered getting a short rest. Although at this point, all of your stuff should be replenished anyway, so it doesn't mechanically make a difference. But you are rested. You are not tired. And so you two, or you, they're all of you at this point, are awake. You feel better, though any aches and pains from the battle remain. You feel good enough to go ahead with whatever may come. So the
Well,
day is yours.
it's certainly going to rain today. Stiff joints.
Sounds alright. I can predict the weather a little bit, and we have good chance of rain.
So, what exactly is the plan? Or actually, do not tell me. I do not want to know what the plan is. When is this plan that I know nothing about happening?
Probably when it gets a little darker in the day. So we have time to kill. Because if we go now, they'll see us for sure. If we go later, we have chance of being unseen. And
Yes, of course.
the further amount of time between us going there the first time and the time of us destroying things should probably be a little further apart as we can make it.
Yes, that seems smart.
Seems. Anyways, we'll probably come back here, rest quickly, and then proceed to run. Because if we, frankly, this feels a little closer than I'd like to be to the place. Especially if we're breaking things, they might search through the surroundings.
Of course, yes.
It's about that
So,
point Who has... Is it Seth who has the highest passive perception? I believe so. Seth, you're getting up, getting awake. You hear that conversation, that planning, and you start to feel a faint sort of rumbling in the ground. And it's getting louder and more noticeable. At that point, Sapling, I believe you have the second highest passive, you begin to notice. And so on and so forth until you've all taken notice. This rumbling the ground, shaking. You can even begin to hear noise. Something cracking through tree. Approaching. There's a small window. Is there anyone that would like to take a peek?
Yes,
looking.
please.
Here.
Okay. Most of you. You kind of crowd around this one small window
Two
facing
people
in
at
the
a time.
direction you can tell. Exactly, just one head, then two head, three head. Everyone peeking around. In ascending heights, too. And you peek through, and you see it's one of those large logging machines. It seems to be on treads of some kind. Thing is about as tall as the cabin you're in. And it seems to be coming in this direction. It has on the top of its torso, instead of a head, there's just this little bump. No neck and head. It's just a small semicircular dome that out of the front of it there appears to be a small lens shining a red light across the ground, and it appears to be moving in the direction of looking toward the window. What do you all do?
Get down.
I suppose I will get down.
Stealth
Get
check from
down.
everybody. And just go
Oh,
ahead
no.
Oh,
and
boy.
dice rolls.
And let's just
Oh,
try to get it as far away from any windows as possible.
Okay. And then, yeah, just post it all in dice rolls, and we'll see. This will be a group check, so it will
Oh.
be the
Sorry.
average of all of the rolls.
I'm sorry, I'm a real big horse.
The
Why are
monk
we
did
all
not do good.
horrible?
Oh, God.
Oh my.
Come on.
Oh,
We can't
shit.
all suck.
I was like, oh, it'll be an average roll, so, like, don't worry, guys. You probably have at least one person who'll do really good, and then even the monk got
Hold on, we
9.
might still have someone
true.
who's doing really good.
True, because, Magnus, we need a stealth roll from you as well, and you might bring it home. You might be the one who can save this.
Are we cooked, Chad?
You might be. So let
I
me
think we might be
start doing the
cooked,
math
Chad.
real quick. Okay, so I've added up those. Now I just need Magnus's roll, and then we'll be good.
To be fair, I do make my rolls at disadvantage because I am
Do you
because
remember
of
what
the
your
armor I'm
Do you
wearing.
remember what the higher roll was, though?
I do remember what the higher roll was.
Because would you have quickly taken the armor off before laying down?
Yes, because if you go to sleep wearing medium armor, you
Yeah.
take some debuffs.
So what was the higher number? Because
The
there
higher
wasn't a
number was
25.
not better. It was
Okay.
6. So...
Okay, never mind.
And it also was
Well-
the first number.
Okay. Yeah, never mind. I was gonna say because it could have helped you a little bit there.
Yeah, sorry,
yeah.
no.
Nah, it's okay. So we're still missing. Magnus, do you have your stealth roll?
Gonna get fucked by 10 guns.
Basically, it's fine. I don't know if they're here right now.
Google, ghost.
Ghost,
Speak to us.
are you alive? Have you perished?
Ghost,
Are you
please.
friendly? Are you
Are you f-
French?
Are you French? How many pickles?
not French. It's something I know.
I'm French to your mom. Sorry.
Ah, I see.
Ah, okay.
Unfortunate. Okay. Well, then we might just go with what we got.
Oh no. Fair enough.
no.
Which, if you're interested, the average is 6.5. If you're interested. Okay. Well, I have to roll for it because it is actively searching. So it really, I'd like. Okay, I'd like one of you. Who volunteers as tribute here?
Me.
You volunteer. I'd like you to guess what was just rolled, and if you get it right, you get a gift of some kind.
Was
What do
it
you
a
think I just
20?
rolled? Is that your final answer?
No,
What's your final answer?
I don't know.
Yeah.
You're making this
Yeah.
hard to do.
Yeah.
I have an
Oh, I
answer.
know.
I have an answer.
Do you want to who? Oh,
I'm an optimist. I think it's a 5.
you think it's 5? Okay. Here, I'll let everyone guess if they
I,
wish.
I think it's a 7.
A 7, and Nora, what do you think?
I'm calling it like an 18 or something. We're just cooked.
18. Okay. And Connor, do you have a guess, or do you wish to not guess at all? A 2. I'll tell you, none of you got it right. That was a natural 1.
Was it a 6?
Oh,
Oh.
That was a natural 1 for a total of 4.
Yay!
Yay!
holy shit!
So you are not cooked. You in
Hey.
fact are not. I rolled and I saw the 1. I went, no, that's got to be a 7 or something, right? No, that's a 1.
Okay, got it.
Flattering.
Yeah, I break into another coughing fit, but the robot's too loud.
No, seriously though, like you break into a coughing fit, and no, you like hit a side table on the way down. Sapling, you're large and like bump into somebody else. Maybe you're the one who sends people into a coughing fit. Seth,
I
you
mean,
like scratch your claw on the wall.
we're in a normal sized house with a large horse and a large Edna. I feel like we just like hit the ceiling at some point.
Yeah, probably, yeah. Like it's
Three Stooges quick hide.
yeah, it is the clunkiest, noisiest thing, but so is it. So and you do get out of the way of the window well enough. And so you watch the red beam sweep by the window, sweep by again, and a third time. And then you hear it slowly turn and begin to move its way away. As you narrowly, by the skin of your teeth, avoid getting caught. Holy shit. So so yeah, you move out of the way, it doesn't see you, and it leaves. It heads down the hill away from your hiding spot to the road, and you can kind of faintly see past a crack in the door. You can see it making its way toward the logging camp. It had in one of its hands part of a tree, so that was it seems to be just taking that back and was looking along the way.
Was that
Um,
there the last time we went?
mm-mm.
The robots.
Yes, the robots.
Yes, we saw them on the way in.
You're very right. I don't know what lapse in my memory happened there. Forgot.
That's fair. That was like 3 or 4 sessions ago.
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah. You did see them on the way in. However, you didn't see any in the immediate area when you were checking things out previously. That means that any that might have been at a distance are coming back.
Those are much spookier than I thought.
Yes.
Initially. We may want to relocate during the day as well, just to be further from them.
Hmm. I think since one of them's checked here, we should be safe for the time being.
Yeah, good point. If any more come back, I will make stink again, but you make good point.
So at this point,
Otherwise, I
what
think it's
is...
just waiting.
Oh, go ahead.
I think it's just like waiting at this point.
Waiting at this point. Okay.
Seth, just a second. Before you go gallivanting off to do something that I have no idea that you're going to do and will never know, I'm going to take off my earring of message and hold it out. I'd like you to take this and wear it. It will let you contact me in case of emergency while I'm not keeping an eye on you out for you. Yes, while you're doing it, if you need me, just point where I'll be towards the entrance and think really loudly. It's a magic earring that lets you talk into someone's brain.
All right. And he'll take it. Are you sure, though? I mean, what if something happens and us?
It'll be fine. I have ways of making a loud noise.
If you're really sure.
I'm sure. I feel much better knowing that if something goes wrong, you can call me in, so to speak.
Okay.
You now have an earring of message. It has 5 charges because we just had a long rest.
Hell yeah. All right. Well, at this point, you guys are waiting. Is there anything else anyone wants to do during this point until time?
Edna's going to gather the people who are going to do destruction. Okay, my current plan. We go. So if I'm understanding this correctly before I say anything dumb. So it's like a logging mill on a river, so the river goes like into it for like hydropower and some kind of thing, or is it like next to the river?
So this is actually, there is a river that goes alongside. I'll give kind of a description of it if you'd like. That way you can get like a good mental image of what you see.
Yeah, I just don't remember.
Oh, that's okay. So this is a little larger than your standard logging mill. Imagine a large, kind of like late 1800s industrial era warehouse. It's got the big like factory floor and everything like that, where a lot of these mechanized robotic creatures take in the lumber. They take it into this building. It is along a river and looks like at one point it was powered by the river itself. There's even still the wheel that spins through the water. However, it is no longer connected to anything. It is simply there as sort of a... It may be powering something, but it doesn't appear to visibly be powering the actual mill itself. It appears that all the wood cutting and everything is done by these large robots, and there are many of them. Some of varying different sizes, some that are very visibly have different purposes. Some of them are the large ones like you saw that carry the parts of trees and the lumber this place and that, and there are some smaller ones, still larger than you, but smaller than the very large, that appear to simply be cutting the wood down. You would have seen all this while you were in the camp speaking to the man. Next to this large structure, sort of attached, but in a smaller building, is the lobby that you had waited in previously, as well as appear to be the sort of offices and business side of things, from what you'd seen while you were there. So you have the industry next door in the large warehouse building, and in the small attached building, more so the business side of things. Um, Most of the trees in the area directly around it are cut. So to get close to the building, there is no tree cover. There is different wagons and things like that you could use as cover, but as far as trees, they're about 100 feet at least from the building. So there's a bit of a no man's land, so to speak, between the building and the tree line. But there is a river adjacent to the building, yes. It's small, not very large. Maybe, I'd say, perspective wise, maybe 20 feet across. As far as how deep, can't really tell.
Thank you. My entire plan has to change now.
Damn. Well,
I
that's why
just
you
had
have
a
time to plan.
I had a more like my brain had like assumed it was like attached to something on the river that was like still like necessary, and that's out the head now.
I will say
Uh,
this. It looks like it is connected to something. The wheel spinning is, but you cannot from the outside of the building see what that is.
okay.
And it doesn't appear to be connected to the cutting of wood like a traditional logging mill, but it does appear to be connected to something. This place also does have pylons and wires going between it and something you can't see. So there is some form of electricity here.
Sorry, there was a siren passing my house.
Oh, you're good. There appears to be pylons and wires and things connecting the buildings to each other. There is some form of electricity here, but what purpose it serves, again, hard to tell without doing more investigating up close.
Okay. Plan's still fine then, potentially. Well, river size is an issue. Okay. Back in character. Okay. So, my initial idea was we get in the river, we swim in the river up to the place, and then basically sneak in the back because where the big wheel is. However, the river might not be big enough or deep enough to hide us effectively, especially if there's any kind of search at night. So I am currently a little stumped on how to get close.
I mean, one or more of us can make some sort of scene and get the
Create a divert. That would be good. A diversion would be helpful.
I'm
that
a
word.
lot more distracting than sneaky.
That would was also my idea. You, I was hoping you would say that. I was going to be honest.
I know I am.
I was thinking about sneaking up. I'm like, how are we going to hide the horse? How are we going to sneak in the river? There's a horse. Sorry for calling you a horse. You're lovely. I have no idea what the
It's
plan.
fine.
It's fine. Diversion will be excellent. I will leave that to your discretion. Don't get killed.
Eh?
I don't think they're going to actively try to murder you. Just try to hold their attention. So don't be stupid. Seth,
Yeah.
you get to be a little stupid. You're going to go in with me and we're going to break things. Where's Bubbles? Bubbles. She points at Bubbles whenever she finds them. You're also going to go in and help break things. Because there may be tiny things that I can't get to that you can.
Fucking break things, yeah.
All right. Well, Zeppelin causes distraction. Seth, how would you like to get up to the place? We could do river, but I know you have a thing with water.
You could carry me if the water's the best way to go about this.
I think the
I don't
water will
weigh a whole lot.
water will probably be safest, as it will give us the most possibility of cover. You will most likely be somewhat submerged, and I'm apologizing for that now. But I would be fine carrying you.
I can do it myself if needed. But you're gonna owe me.
It is okay. I am fine owing you things. They have probably promised you my time later, anyways, and doing other things. So, thank you for your help.
Mm-hmm. I do have a question though.
Yes.
So you mentioned that if the guy happens to get in the way,
If the guy happens to be
it's
there and he happens to get in the way, I do not care what measures you take, nor how deadly measures you take to get him out of the way.
all right.
Now, I'm telling you, for the record, if we are ever caught or interrogated, I did not tell you to kill him. Just remove him with as much force as you deem necessary. But don't kill him, she says, winking.
Okay. Listen, sometimes things happen and accidents happen. I mean,
Seth,
look at Sapling's
Seth,
ass.
Seth, the more you talk, the more incriminating it gets. So don't talk about it. We don't talk about it. If you get them, you just tell me you got them. We'll high five and we'll never speak of it again.
I will try. I'm not good at being quiet.
Don't say it to the wrong person. Don't get yourself killed, please.
I'm not dead yet. I think I'll be okay.
Jeez.
I love that image. That's pretty great.
Anyways, that is about all I have. Our main goal will be to find whatever is powering the wheel and any electricity there and shut it down very harshly. Ideally, they have to create new things.
By the way, I'm drawing you up a little map of the area. It's a very basic map on a sticky note, but it'll get the point across.
Iconic. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. I thought about opening up like Incarnate or something, but I was like, nah, that'll take too long. Sticky note.
Hell yeah.
Boom, boom, boom,
Okay, I'm gonna take a picture of this and
Bum,
put it in
bum,
like,
bum,
where do
bum,
you want it?
bum,
Like, I'll
bum,
put it in
bum,
pictures, I guess.
bum.
That way you kind of have a
Pic-
vague idea of the shape and
yeah.
size.
Pictures is fine, yeah.
I'll have to describe
Actually,
because none of this is fucking labeled, and you're gonna be like, what the fuck is that supposed to be? So I will elaborate.
okay. Actually, you should DM it to me and only me, and no one else should see it.
You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna do that, and here's why. Because
No,
you were the one
why?
doing all the scouting.
That was a joke.
Aha!
No, I'm
No,
sorry, guys.
I'll put it in pictures. It's fine. There. So
If you didn't, I was going to.
yeah, that's fair. So big rectangle, that is main warehouse building. Small weird shaped rectangle on the side, that is the lobby and all of that shit. The big shaded in area is the quote unquote parking lot and also leading over to the main road that you guys had been traveling on to arrive. On the left side, you have the river with the wheel that connects to it, and then all the little circles are just like tree stumps and shit in the area from like when there was trees here. Um, a lot of the empty space is where like carts and things like that are. Obviously, you don't know what the inside of the buildings really look like as of yet. The only other thing is there is a circle attached to the big rectangle, and that is like a not necessarily like a smokestack, but a silo is the word I'm looking for. That's attached to the main building. This will just, I don't know, maybe this will help you with your mind image of things.
It does.
But yeah, so you have a plan. A little bit of scouting's been
plan.
done.
I have a plan and I'm chugging some coke.
Hell yes. Okay. So what time is it here? I want to make sure we take a break at a good time. 7:16. Okay. So at this point, I suppose we just skip to the right time. Now, if it's all right with you guys, I would love to take a slightly early break because Connor had to go take dog out, and also I need to grab a couple things for this. So take a quick break, and then
Alrighty.
yeah, if you do have to take a break like closer to actual time, do so. But I think a quick break now is okay. So we'll do that, and then we will come back to it soon. All right, and we back. So,
Your mom.
we're gonna just skip forward a little bit and skip over to, um, I guess skip over to the plan going into action. What time? Keeping in mind, 9 o'clock is roughly when the sun fully is set. Roughly, when do you want to set out for this? When do you wish to get into position and put plan into action?
What time does the sun go downish?
It's fully set around 9, so it starts going down 8:30, somewhere in there.
Let's call it like 9:45. We go to like get into position, and 10 we go.
Okay, sounds good. Um, okay, and so you guys, I will say for the sake of this, getting going to get into position, you don't. You do have to cross because you guys are across the street and then down the road a ways. So as you begin going to get into position, you all kind of have to go in the same direction until you split off. Could I get all of you? Since I think it's right to assume you'd be trying to do this somewhat stealthily, at least until you want to cause a distraction. Would that be accurate?
Yeah.
Okay. Could I have you all make a stealth check?
No.
Oh gosh.
Damn.
No, you can't.
Fuck.
Oh
Wait,
boy,
do we
I'm sure this will go well.
Isn't Kyle
Oh,
going with
wow.
us for this part?
Yeah, he's staying. He's staying away from the building, but like
Okay,
he's
I was
going
unclear.
on the main road. He's staying like at the main road to watch the main
Right.
road.
Yeah.
Also, I'm sorry.
And
How
then, yeah,
did-
don't forget to put in dice rolls. I do want to ask in Chiron for you. You're staying on the main road, watching the main road. Are you staying where you can see the building, however?
Yes, I am.
Oh, man. Really? Guys? The other 20. Okay. The one that you were worried about.
You should always be worried about me. I'm old and I cough a lot,
I'll be
and
so
I
for y'all.
have
Hilarious.
and I have disadvantage on stealth checks. So
Yeah.
Being
Clank,
so-
clank, cough, cough.
I genuinely didn't realize you were gonna come with us at all. So like, I didn't even play it.
no.
So, now I will say, because in Chiron you're staying back and staying at the main road, there isn't really much to plan for you. It's literally just if shit hits the fan,
I'm coming in.
then
Yeah.
you'll know. Yeah. Okay. The average of that, with the other 20 helping out a lot, came to 9.5. So,
Wow.
yeah.
We're really bad at
hard.
group stealth checks.
Hard carry. Thanks.
What I will say is Sapling, you do have the advantage of having hooves. And while it isn't necessarily super quiet on a main road traveling along, that's not an odd thing to hear, is a horse's hooves. And so somebody who might be listening or something that might hear wouldn't think that much of it in comparison to other things. But the rest of you, it has started to drizzle a bit as you're beginning to leave. The ground is becoming muddy, and therefore, as your feet hit the ground and come up, there's that wet sort of slopping sound as your feet leave the ground. It's hard to be quiet in this, but you do your best and you begin to make your way. The tree line gets thinner and thinner as you go, so trying to be stealthy is also quite difficult. You are at some points completely out in the open and then in tree cover again. But as you approach, you eventually hit the point where you have to split off into your groups. Sapling as the distraction, in Chiron watching the road and having plausible deniability, and then Bubbles, Seth, and Edna heading into infiltration team. Fuck shit up team. Is there any parting words as you split off?
Stay safe, all of you.
If anything starts to look sketchy, run.
Okay.
Well, sketchy for your life. Obviously, this is sketchy. Anyways, good luck. Let's break legs.
Okay. So you split off. You get ready.
Bow, 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 bow.
um, so you all split off into your separate groups and go to your positions. Now, for Edna, Seth, and Bubbles, you are on the same side of the river as the building, but you wanted to approach via the river. So I'm guessing you are entering further downriver and then trying to stealth your way towards the building.
Yeah, with
Through okay.
maybe like the top of my head poking out.
Okay.
Figure with like.
Oh no.
So,
Actually, I'm gonna
That's fine.
wild shape into a shark.
yeah.
No. Yeah, let's be inconspicuous. A shark in the river.
Yeah, it's totally
I don't think you can have a swim speed yet, land shark.
Land shark just flopping along the.
Yeah. I wasn't supposed to have a flight speed, but then we accidentally let me have a flight speed the one time.
Yeah, listen. Sometimes you don't think of things. You being me.
You considered that it was cool.
It was
It
cool
was
and
awesome.
it worked.
So
It fucking worked. It just works.
it just works.
But you, yeah. So you all get to your positions. Edna, Seth, Bubbles. You get to the edge of the river, and get ready to go in. Sapling, whereabouts do you want to try to be before the distraction?
I mean, I so they're fucking with the stuff by the river, I think.
So
So
you would know that they're entering the river and then fucking shit up at the building.
okay. Um. Uh. Well, I don't want to be too close because I don't want them. I don't want people to look over and be like, "Wait, what's going on over there?"
The
But
For reference, the tree line with no tree stumps but like full trees, start about 100 feet from the building. So you can be in the tree line, or you could try to hide by carriages and carts, or you could just be out there in the open.
I mean, I'm gonna be the distraction, so I am just gonna get on out there.
Okay. And so you just sidle on up into like the opening, and get ready. And Chiron, are you staying in like the middle of the road or just off the road?
Just off the road. I don't want to interrupt any carriages that may come careening. I don't want to get run over by a carriage, but I do want to watch the road.
Okay. And
Doug got run
perfect.
over by a carrot.
Peepaw got ran over by a carriage.
We need that. We need that song. Um and okay, and then the rest of you at the river. We'll go with river team. As you begin your path. So Edna, you want to basically carry Seth, is what I gathered from the plan before.
Well, yeah, but it's more like they're both going through the water, and like Seth's just kind of on her back as she like goes.
Okay. And so you do so, and Bubbles, I'll say, he doesn't really have problem necessarily with the water, so he just kind of is swimming alongside the two of you. And you two, Seth yodeling on Edna, you begin to make your way through the river. Um, the river's not pushing super hard right now, so it doesn't impede you. You're slowed, for sure, but you're not like bowled over. It's not like the rapids. And so you begin to go. I need both of you to make a stealth check. Third stealth check. You can do this. You can't fail all three. You can
You
do
bet
one
your
of them,
ass
I
we can't
believe
fail
you.
all three.
God, hey. Well, Seth could even it out. Although the nat 20 does give you a benefit, even if Seth does do poorly. Nat 20 will give you something. What do we got? A 22 for both of you. I don't got to do any math. That's just a 22. Um, and the nat 20 especially, you are stepping with purpose through the water, pushing through, but you are not slowed. You are one unit at this point. And you move through the water easily. Um, you don't see any eyes fall on you. You do see, however, as you're getting close to the building, there is a small, where this water wheel is attached, there is a small little pier, sort of. It's not very big, very small. A good entry point, it looks like. There's a door um, into the building at that pier. Um, and you don't see anyone on it. However, nearby, sort of walking along the land, you can see a few automaton. There are two that you see, both of them holding what look like just batons, and they don't have heads. Very similar to the large one you'd seen. They're just torsos and then a dome on top with a light. And you even feel the light pass over you. You see it pass directly over you, and they continue on. They don't seem to have any reaction, as if they didn't even notice you were there. And they seem to just be doing a patrol, like guards. Um, there are other places you could try to find entry, but the pier is the one you see immediately. Do you want to look for others, or do you want to head in that direction?
Before we go in, I want to see if the door opens first. Like, handle move.
Oh, of course. What I mean, though, is do you want to go toward that pier, or try to find a different
Oh,
entrance?
so the robots have already passed us, and there's no
Yeah,
one on the pier.
they're on the land next to you right now, and then you go further up, and that's where the pier is.
Okay, but it doesn't look like there's anyone on the pier.
Nobody that you see.
Okay, we're going towards that then.
Okay. You go toward the pier, you clamber up on, and it is, in fact, clear. There is nobody on this pier. However, you can now see, being where you are, the water wheel does have a spoke that, or a shaft that does go into the building. So it for sure does something. It's not just for show, though you still from here cannot see what it is. But you said you wanted to check the door?
Yes, make sure it's
Okay.
unlocked.
It is not. You go to the handle and just give it a little bit of a test. It is not unlocked.
Well, if we want to cause major issue, we could break water wheel and go, or we can go inside and break door down, but that will cause noise. Unless one of you want to try to climb to find another door.
Seth, do you have any ideas?
I'm checking if I have something because I know he has a certain proficiency, but I don't know if he has the item.
Gotcha. If not, Bubbles can do something, but I want to, of course, you as the player, I want to give you the opportunity first. Actually, here's what I'll say for Bubbles. He is going to look to the both of you and say, there's a window up there. If you can lift me a little higher, I can try to get inside. Don't know that I can get you in because I don't know where the window leads, but I can at least get positioned inside for when you get in.
Well, someone inside is better than no one inside. Edna's gonna lower her hand down to the ground for him.
Clambers up on.
Okay. Okay. Lift up to her face first. If it looks bad, get out. Same way you came in.
He just nods.
Cool. And then she's
Okay.
gonna lift him up to the window
Okay. And
and like
he kind
tiptoe
of,
it to really get him up there.
yeah, and he just kind of like clambers on in, pushes it a little bit, clambers inside. And you can hear on the other side of the door like a thunk. And you see the handle move a little bit, but it doesn't open. As if he can't get it open from the inside.
Lacking opposable thumbs will do that. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, all right, I'll get it open. And he's like, goddamn luck.
Well, I think that's Bubbles is dry. You want to break it, or you want me to break it?
Well, I wanted to do something other than break it, but my bag doesn't have what I need.
Seth,
Damn. What do you need?
do you have Thieves' Tools proficiency?
I have proficiency, yeah, I just don't have thieves' tools.
I would allow you to try something, but it would be a higher check. You have some of your own teeth, and some of them are a bit thinner. You could also kind of break them a little bit to make them. I would let you.
I wanna try that.
attempt.
We're trying that.
Okay. It will be a higher DC. But go ahead and make it'll be a dexterity check with proficiency.
Edna's just standing there with a little hammer. Would the hammer help?
You have proficiency with Thieves' Tools. I'm allowing you to use these as improvised Thieves' Tool. I did not say that. It's a higher DC.
I had to make sure What am I supposed to add to this other than proficiency, or is it just proficiency?
It's dexterity. So it shouldn't be a terrible roll. Or a terrible plus. Because you're good at dex.
22.
22. This is not a vault door. This is a slightly sturdier wooden door on the edge of a pier. Most people are not going to swim in the water next to a water wheel, get on the pier, and then come in. This is not the most well-defended door. So you take your teeth, you kind of have to file them down a little bit to get them thin enough to fit in. But you are able, with some work, and it does take work, and refiling and check-in, and maybe even a tap from Edna's little hammer, to get it to fit. And you are able to get the door to click and unlock. It is not open yet. It is still closed, but it is unlocked.
Open the door, Seth. You did it. Open the damn door.
Door opens. There is no Bubbles. He is somewhere. However, it is an empty hallway that appears to go left, down the long side of the or rather, down the short side of the building that you're on. And it seems to have other doors that lead to other places, halls that cut into other places. However, you can see that the door directly in front of you, a little bit ways down this small hall, has a window, and you can see into the sort of warehouse / factory floor, where you can see things moving around, some of these automatons. Now, we're going to cut from you two real quick, and I want to go over to Sapling. You are walking, you are standing in the middle of this sort of, best way to call it is a sort of parking lot, where you had seen the growling vehicle approaching before the mechanized carriage that the foreman, I guess we'll call him, had come in before. In here, you do see up against the building, not currently paying you any mind, are a couple bipedal automatons that are walking around. That is what you immediately see. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna start a one-man protest very loudly.
Okay. Okay. So you start loudly protesting. Is there anything in particular that you say?
I tried so hard to think, but no. But
Nothing.
he's
Okay.
just gonna chant something. And let's be fun. Let's say it's half in common, half in Sylvan, the
Ooh,
language of the wood.
I love that. Okay, go ahead and make a performance check.
Yay! I can use my W Riz.
Hell yeah.
Okay, if you want to fucking suck, that's fine too. I'm not even good at performance. Hoo hoo hoo. That's a 10.
A 10. So you are a one man protest. You just start chanting um sort of these sort of rhymey like uh protest chants, and it's, you know, if it was more than one person, it would be impressive. Um but you are doing your best, and it's not bad, it's not good, it's very like a 10, it's very mid. Um and the two automatons, they do stop in their walking. Their torsos pivot in your direction, and then so do their legs. And one of them does peel off and start coming towards you. Um, it's a good, like maybe 50 feet away, and it's approaching slowly. It's not moving particularly fast or hurried toward you. And it stops at about 20 feet, and just its red beam out of its sort of like dome just shines on you. You
May
hear
I?
it does. It's kind of like right in your eyes. It just like Um, it doesn't say anything. It just kind of stops and stares, and then it turns and walks back toward the building.
No!
And so you're standing there chanting, and it doesn't seem to see you as any type of threat. It kind of assesses you as just a person there, um, and then it walks back.
I
Um,
want to throw a rock at it.
you want to throw a rock at it? Make
I
a
want to throw a rock at
make a ranged attack. So it'll be d20 plus dex.
it. We will not be ignored. We might be ignored. That's a 7.
So you pick up a rock and you throw it, and it like lands like a foot to its left. However, let me roll something here because you still threw a rock in its direction. Okay. Uh it's going to stop, and it's going to turn and more hurriedly walk in your direction.
Oh shit.
Um
How hurriedly.
like a fast walk. If before it was walking casually, this is like a fast, if it was a person, you would imagine like an angry look on their face, like, how fucking dare you do that? And so it walks in your direction. It walks right up to you. Do you do anything?
I'm just gonna keep yelling.
You keep yelling. It's going to raise the baton,
Oh shit.
and that is cocked. Hold on. 16, does that hit?
Yeah.
Okay. And that's gonna be 6 bludgeoning
I'm just
damage.
trying to protest. How much?
Yeah, 6 bludgeoning.
Damn.
It raises the baton and just hits you like right in the side of the head, and you're dazed for like half a second.
Oh.
And it does, out of its chest gurgles this kind of like mechanized voice saying, "Leave the premises or you will be removed."
Or I will be removed. Is that what it
Or
said?
yes, leave the premises or you will be removed.
You know, I'm a pretty fast boy.
Mhm.
You're gonna have to catch me first.
Hey, what would I have you roll? um, it's not really an intimidation thing. S- I don't fucking know. That's This is not a threat. You know what? I'm gonna say just make a persuasion check.
Ooh,
Make a
okay.
persuasion check. That is like the closest thing I could think of right
Fuck.
now.
Why?
The rolls are bad
Um,
right now.
yeah, they're really bad. I mean, it's an 8, but I rolled a natural one.
Oh my god.
Get your
So
shit together, sapling. Don't make me call out the other one.
so you say about being fast, and this robot kind of takes a step back, and there is a clicking sort of whistling noise, and the front doors to the warehouse open. Not fully, but they sort of crack open and then open a little more, and a slightly larger automaton comes out. Not one of the big ones like what you saw before, but like this thing walks on 4 legs and has what visibly look to be armaments built into its arms. One of them being a large axe, and the other is a cylinder of some kind. You don't know if it is a cannon or what it is exactly, but it looks like a cannon. Um, and it starts to walk in your direction. Um, and you visibly see that. What do you do? You're doing great as a distraction, by the way. But what do you?
Yeah. um, I mean, I'm just. Uh, let's give it a try. Let's just play chase. I'm not lying. I am a fast boy.
Yeah. What is your movement speed again?
I have 40 feet of movement speed.
Need to check something. Probably slower than you, but I want to check. Yeah, he is definitely slower. But what about the big boy? Based off. Oh, that one's the big one. We don't want that one. We want this one. Oh no, it is this one. It is this one. Huh? Really? That's really interesting. No, because that'd be the big one. That's a little too fast. Okay. I'll say for this one, they are both unable to keep up to you. And so you just start running around and playing chase.
Still screaming.
Still panting and screaming, and you are able to stay away from them. It's to the point where like you're on one side of them, and they kind of like turn to pivot and start going in that direction, and you're already on the other side. So then they just are basically turning and pivoting in place at one point. It's not good. They can't do anything, and they're basically just repeating the same thing, which is leave the premises or you will be removed, and you're just running around them. At some point, another joins the circle, slightly larger. It's just ascending. It's just ascending order. This one is actually pretty large. Would say huge even. Um, and it's still very similar thing. However, it doesn't just turn in place like the others. It watches you go past,
Oh
and
no.
it doesn't move. Its legs don't move as quick as yours, but it's pretty big. It keeps pace.
Oh no.
This one also appears to have on its body, again, it is a bit larger, On its body, it appears to have sort of like a couple platforms on which the smaller guards are standing. This one looks less like a wood-cutting robot and more like a machine of some type of a machine of war. Rather than a large axe, one is a large hammer. One arm is, and the other is. It's less of a hammer. It's more of just a large tube with like a hammer sort of end on the end of it. It looks like it would shoot out and then pull back in. The other thing,
absorbed.
the other thing is a larger cannon, and it is keeping pace with you as you're running circles around. Seth and Edna, you can see into the interior of this factory, and you watch as the front doors open, and you watch an automaton leave. You don't hear any commotion until you start to hear chanting from the front that is Sapling. And then you're like, okay, that's the distraction. And it seems to be working in some weird kind of way. It seems to be working as automatons are leaving.
They all start leaving. Edna looks at him. We have our moment. Going to go through. Actually, what do we see when we're looking? It's a better thing to know.
Go ahead and make me a perception check.
Shit.
The big automaton leaving is obvious, but for anything else, that would require a check.
22.
22, very good. So you begin to look around, and you can see that I'll call it a factory floor, is made up of long sort of conveyor belts. There are the logs, they all appear to be powered down, but you can tell kind of the order of operations. There is a log that gets put place at the end, and then it travels down and is pulled into a saw blade, cuts it in half, very much similar to a standard mill. However, then at the end, you can see that there are some powered down automatons. On their hands, you can see they are made up of knives and different carving tools, and you can see via one that was about at that stage at the time everything was powered down, it appears to strip the bark off of the logs. It then goes through a series of other cutters to get processed into lumber that can be used. It's sort of a long conveyor line. There are about 5 of these in this building. They are all laid down in parallel to each other with a little bit of space in between for things to walk. I'll say with that roll, even from where you are, you can see what look kind of like hollowed out areas. And in some of those areas, you see automatons stationed, powered down. And you can see crackling of electricity from things connected to them, sort of charging station. Not all of them are filled, and many of them are empty. Meaning automatons are possibly still out there somewhere, some still on the factory floor powered down, others possibly outside, and at least one of them being distracted currently.
Okay. There seem to be lines of electricity connecting to some of these things. We should find where those start, cut out the power source. Do I have any inclination of where the part of the wheel that comes into the factory goes to?
I would say from where you're currently positioned, you would not be able to see that. You would have to do some more investigating around the building to find that out. Would you like to do so?
Yes.
Are you trying to stealth around?
Probably.
Okay. Stealth check then.
Like mild cautiousness. Just to make sure there's no one in the hallway before I go down the hallway.
In that case, it wouldn't necessarily, I wouldn't say stealth check. I would say a active perception check. So roll perception as you're going around. And this is you moving around cautiously, looking around corners as you go.
25.
25. You are being very cautious, moving slowly, but looking around as you go. So,
Looking
Yensa,
for stairs, I think.
stairs up or down?
Looking up, I could. How high was the ceiling in the factory floor? I'm
The
assuming pretty
factory
high.
floor. It's pretty high. Hard to
Like,
gauge
is
an
it to the top of
exact,
the
but
building?
like, yeah, it goes all the way to the top of the building. There isn't flooring all the way to the top of the building, but you can see it's sort of like struts at some point. But it's a pretty tall ceiling. This building is quite
Okay.
large.
Did it look like the post for the water wheel went like? Was it like above the door or below the door when we came in?
It was above the door. It looks like if you had to gauge, it was at what would be considered a second floor.
Okay. We may want to go up, but there may be more things downstairs that are more eh, detrimental if we break. But the water wheel seemed to be connecting above, so we may want to check it out.
We could always split up. You go up, I could go down.
Don't split the party, guys. It'll be fine.
Yeah, 100%.
That is a good idea. I'll go up. You go down. I'll meet you down because I'm only looking for one thing, and I think I'll find it quick.
All right. I can start, destruction, right?
Yeah. Look at anything that you might think is important. Spare saw blades, spare parts, anything that looks like they're stockpiling, except the wood. We don't need to destroy the wood, but destroy everything else. If you find something that looks like a main power source of some kind, destroy that as much as
All
possible.
right.
And if you find bubbles, tell him to break everything tiny that looks hard to replace.
All right. If I see him, I will.
Alright. And up we go, or down you go.
Okay, we'll start with Edna. You're going up, right?
Oh yeah.
You do find stairs, and so far you have seen no people, you've seen no wandering automatons, nothing so far. And you go up. And in this building, you see that there is. Honestly, this leads up into a hallway that then connects to the catwalks on the second floor. However, you're looking for where the water wheel connects, correct?
I mean, I'm just looking where the shaft would be, so I'm guessing I have to go closer to the door.
Yeah, and so you make your way along and head toward where the door was, and you find that there is a larger room on your right that you can actually see the shaft of the water wheel, and you see what it's connected to. The door it's actually just an open doorway. There is no actual door here. So you can see it pretty clearly. It is a large, slightly glowing blue stone. And you can see that the water wheel shaft has almost what looks like a drill head on the end that is just slowly grinding into this stone. There are then cables and wires that leave the stone itself and stretch everywhere in the room, going to different parts of the building.
How big is the stone?
It is. How tall are you?
Like, and it's like 7 foot, I think.
7 foot? It's about little less than a foot taller than you and about two of you wide. Too big to carry, at least through normal means. It doesn't appear to be bolted into the floor or anything. It is just sat there. It kind of comes up to a point. Think of it less like a stone and more like a large gem is a better description.
Okay. I'm gonna detect magic this.
A lot. It glows like the sun.
Interesting
And
operation you're running here.
I'm curious. Edna, do you know how approximately how old Edna is? Is Edna older than 40 or roughly around there?
Yeah, let's go with that.
Can you make a history check or arcana? Um, you might know something about this.
Those are both intelligence, I'm guessing.
Yes.
Cool, it's an 18.
The city of Kingsport, almost 40 years ago at this point, the largest technologically advanced city in the entire world, had electricity. And underneath the city, down underground, in a place called the Cogs, they had large steam hammers, which would slam into stones almost exactly like this, that generated power for the entire city. Now, Kingsport was blown up a long time ago, almost 40 years ago, and most of that was thought lost. This appears, if it's the same thing, to be a shard of whatever powered that city. Um, being constantly drilled into and generating power for this building.
Hmm. It almost feels like a shame to break it. Thinks Edna as she goes to break it.
Okay, roll to hit.
Uh, not yet.
Oh,
So I just need a bit more info on the room for my sake. How high is the shaft for the water wheel?
how high above you? It's about, I would say honestly, when in this room, it's about chest height.
Chest height?
Yeah.
Awesome. We're wild shaping into a brown bear.
Okay. And
I'm gonna
so,
break some shit.
verifying you're striking the shaft.
Yeah, I'm trying to break the shaft, and then I'm gonna try to like break the drill bit, and like just damage it as much as possible to make it unusable.
Okay, makes sense. Yeah, go ahead and roll to hit.
Okay. Two attack for funsies. Those were horrible. Wow. Um, I got a 10 and a 12.
They are enough. This is a slightly slowly spinning piece of wood. Um, it's not attempting to dodge in any way, so that is both enough to hit. So go ahead and roll damage.
Damage. What dice am I using? Okay. One of them's gonna be 11. The other one's gonna be 9.
Okay. Are these both on the wood for this one?
Yeah, Edna's she's gonna claw at it twice and then bite it.
Okay. Those, I will say, just those two attacks is enough to break the wood. It's thick, but you are also currently a brown bear. Those are two pretty hefty hits. The first hit splinters it. The second hit breaks it. And it continues to spin on the part that's attached to the water wheel. It does seem to have like reinforcements and things, so it's still attached to the building. Um, but at least this part is broken off, and the drill bit end, that's right there. The rest of it is now lying on the ground.
Can I like see outside from here at all?
There's a small gap. Yeah, you can kind of like peek
Can I fit the
outside.
drill bit through it?
I'm gonna say no, not through the gap
Okay.
here.
How much other things? No, I'm not gonna break the wall open. That's silly. I'll just like stomp on the drill, or take the bit, pick it up, and just like slam it really hard into the ground.
Okay. Uh, for the sake of it, go ahead and just make me a strength check with the bear strength.
Bear strength. It's one better than mine.
Hell yeah.
It's 20.
20. You slam it into the ground with pretty hefty strength, and it hits. You do also note that after it disconnected from the gem, the glowing dimmed slightly, but not dissipated. And the detect magic would, I think in wild shape it stays. I would think it would.
I don't remember.
I'm going to say for the sake of this, until I check the rules on it, I'm going to say yes.
Okay.
It dims but does not go out, so there's still magic there, but it is weaker. And the cables any magical electricity going through them stops entirely.
Cool. I'm gonna cut all the cables now.
Okay. That I'll just say is a thing you can do. You got claws. You just go through and just cut them all
Yep.
up, and yeah,
Then
and
she's
they are
going
now hanging.
to try to use as much of the bear weight. She's gonna step back, basically her whole movement, and she's gonna just charge the gem and try to just knock it down from what it's on.
Okay.
Unless it's not like bolted to the ground.
It is not bolted to the ground at all. It is
Then I'm just
simply as
gonna
far as
push
you
it
can tell
over.
sitting there. Push it over. Okay.
She's just gonna like step up hind legs, push.
Okay. Go ahead and make me a strength check or athletics check specifically.
Athletics. That's a 16.
16. Okay. You push and it is heavy, but you are also bare and you are strong. And so you push and you are able to, with some effort, kind of rocking it on its base a little bit, tip it over. When it hits the ground, loud thud. And I need to do a roll for the floor. Okay. Floor is stable. You see, it seems they have reinforced the floor underneath it in order to support its weight. It does not crash through the floor on the way down. However, it does land, and you watch sparks emanate. I need you to make a dex save.
Oh. Not bear dex.
With the bear dex.
Natural 20 though. 1 second.
Okay.
Do you want a photo of that?
Oh no,
You're
you're
getting
fine.
one anyways.
If you want to send one, yeah, sure. Hey,
It's the dice that's been good to me.
hell yeah. So you dodge. You see it hit. You have a brief moment of thought of the fact that this thing created electricity from getting hit with something. It hits the floor and you dodge just a second before lightning arcs out and almost hits you. But you get out of the way. It does, however, strike part of the wall, which is wood, and it begins to catch.
And is gonna get out of wild shape. And she's gonna run for the stairs.
Okay. Running for the stairs as the building begins to catch. Okay. So you begin to run for the stairs, running downstairs. Seth, as that is all happening, what are you doing? You're staying downstairs? Okay. And what are you doing?
Doing exactly what Edna told him to do. What looks important enough to break?
Well, see, that's all a thing of like what you think. Is there anything specific you want to go for? Or do you. Because if not, I have a way to help you find out. It's just not something Seth's good at. It would be an intelligence check. I mean, you could roll an intelligence check. I'm just giving you a choice. If what you think Seth would think is important.
Honestly, that's tough because he really doesn't know anything about this kind of shit.
Intelligence check it is.
Tis a 14. He has no plus.
14's not bad, however. You could definitely attempt to disable part of the main line, like one of the assembly lines, or dismantle more than one. There are 5 of them, so you could go through and just destroy part of those. That would take some time to repair. You could attempt to disable fully some of the automatons. However, you did see some of them outside moving, and you don't really know how these things work. So they could stay disabled or they could come alive. You don't know. You also do see that there is some piles of like spare parts and things on shelves. You could attempt to get rid of some of those, throw some of them in the water, destroy some of them. There are many different things you could do here. There are also the cables you could attempt to go through and start cutting. At this point, they are still crackling with electricity, however, at the current moment. because this is while Edna's doing things.
I think he's gonna go for one of the automatons.
Okay, big, small, medium.
How, like, not an exact number, but because obviously can't do that. Which ones have more and which ones have less of?
The larger ones there are less of, and the small ones there are many, many more of.
He's probably gonna go for one of the large ones because they seem to be important enough, and the fact there are less of them means that there's less of a chance they can just replace shit.
Okay. Go ahead and how are you attempting to do so? What is your method of attempting to disable them? They are currently inactive as you approach in their little docking station, which at this point, power cuts.
Can, like, any wires or things be seen on these, or no?
Not from the outside. I would say this one is large enough. You can kind of peek under with your perception and see. I'd say actually investigation check. It wouldn't be perception.
12.
With a 12, you cannot see any exposed wiring. There does appear to be plates, like metal plates on the outside and things underneath, but as far as wiring, you do not see any. What you see is almost what looks like stone and other metal bits. It's not fully metal and wiring, it's a mix of things. There's even bits of wood that you can see.
I think he'd try to pry off some of the plating.
That would be a stealth check. Or, sorry, a strength check. They both start with S. My brain got confused.
17.
Okay, so you are able to pry off where on the body? Head, or there's really no head, but the dome, chest, legs, arm, where?
Chest.
Chest. So you start to pry off at the chest, you get a few plates off. You see again stone, wood, and a cylindrical metal thing near the center that seems to be glowing blue.
That seems important.
Okay, you want to just pry that out?
That thing, yeah.
Okay, you want to pry it out, damage it. What do you want to do?
Pry it out.
Be a strength check. Unless you have another thing that would help you do it using another skill. Because I will always tell you what I think you should do. That is what I'm doing. But if you have a different suggestion, you can always bring it up. No? Okay. Strength it is.
13.
13. You kind of get your hands in there, and the cable's electricity crackles and dies, like I said before. This thing still glows with that same color, that same energy, and as you touch it, it vibrates in your hand. You go and pull, and as you get it to move, it's not even in there very strong. You're like, oh shit, this is super easy. Electricity crackles between the connection point and the object, and your hands are kind of in the way. Make a dex save.
10.
Your hands get caught. You feel it shoot through your body, this electricity. You pull the object out as you're ejected from the torso, and you land slamming into one of the what's it called? One of the assembly lines next to one of the automatons that then powers on, one of the small ones. You still have the thing in your hand, which is still glowing faintly, and it turns itself on, and it has in one hand, it appears to be an axe blade, and the other one is a kind of like a paint scraper, is almost what it looks like. And it turns to you and looks like it's about to attack you. What do you do? Oh, and by the way, you do take 6 lightning damage from the ejection. But it is in front of you. It hasn't done anything yet. But what do you do?
He's going to try and bite it. That is his first line of defense, is biting things.
Okay. And you do have something in your hands, so that does make sense. You go forward. You go to try to bite it. Okay. Roll the hit, of course.
That sucks.
What is this?
It's 1
It's a one.
plus 6, so 7, but
Okay, it doesn't hit, and also it's a natural 1, which in combat means an auto fail. Okay. Wow, your guys' luck has been really bad. Like, things are still working out, because on the things where you need to roll well, you are rolling well. Um, but man, the luck is just not there today. Uh, okay. Well, Seth, you go to how to do this. And that one, it's got to be something bad, huh? Okay. All right. Um, you go to bite, and this thing is metal. You're used to biting down on flesh, or biting down on armor, or things like that. You bite down on the metal, almost full metal all the way through, skeleton of this thing, and you have to open your mouth pretty wide as well. And as you bite down, you feel your cheeks tear, and it cracks teeth. Teeth fall out of your mouth. You are unable, at least for until the next long rest, you are unable to use your bite attack, which does have a little bit extra, or a different damage type than your other attacks. So you have lost that. I'd say also because you have like from your race you get like an acid spit. I'm gonna say unable to really use that either, because forming the mouth into the spit, it's kind of hard to do that. Your mouth is just kind of hanging. Um, but that happens. We'll get back to you in a moment. And about that time is when you see Edna rushing down the stairs.
and then we'll be right back.
I saw that, yeah. But that's when you see Edna running down the stairs. We are going to go over to Sapling. Sapling, you've been playing Ring Around the Rosie with automatons, one of them slowly gaining on you. What do you wish to do at this point?
I mean, I mean, this is working. So
Okay, keep running.
if it ain't broke,
Can you make a dex save for me? Or actually, is that a
Sure.
save? Yeah, that's a save. I had to double check if it was an attack roll or a save. It is a save.
a save. And you get your shit together. Okay. That's a 7.
7. So you're running, and then you feel your body get weighted down as a net is shot out of the cannon of the one that you saw. It kind of was spinning around, lining up a shot, lining up, boom. And you hear a small boom, but not like a cannon or a gunshot. And you look and you see there is now a net on top of you, and you are stopped in your tracks.
No.
As the one that was gaining on you finally catches up and raises the large hammer fist above you.
Oh no.
And it's going to lower it. And you can just see coming from the building a man, not the one who you'd initially seen, not the asshole that you really hated, but a taller, lankier man, has kind of like a monocle over the one eye, like really rich asshole looking type. And he walks out and he walks up to you and looks down and goes, "What do we have here? I heard you shouting from inside. What is this about?"
I was protesting. I was just peacefully protesting, and these robots started attacking me.
"Oh, well, I am ever so sorry. Are you going to leave now?"
I mean, no, well, I can't. I'm stuck.
"If I was to let you go, would you leave?"
No.
He gives like a click out the side of his mouth and a whistle and motions toward the building, and one of the robots grabs the net and begins to drag you toward the building.
No.
You can attempt the strength check to get out if you would like.
Yeah, I am. I'm gonna
Okay.
try it. I'm not
Okay.
good at strength, but I'm gonna try. I'm gnawing at the bars of my enclosure.
Literally.
Is it like, what kind of net is this? Is it like rope?
It seems to be a reinforced rope. There are metal bits on the end to like weight it down. So it does make it a lot heavier, and it is a heavy like rope in general. But
Ah,
yeah. There's a save for this. There we go.
that's a 9, because I can't roll for shit.
The mixture of being dragged and the heavy nature of this net makes it very hard to escape. And you're trying your best. You really are. And if you weren't being dragged, it might be possible. But it's very difficult. You are brought towards the sort of lobby building rather than the factory floor. And the man motions for it to basically points upward. And suddenly you're being taken into the air
Ugh.
and set on the roof. And then he heads inside, and you're up there for a minute before he makes his way out onto the roof, followed by a couple other burly looking men. And they grab the net and start to drag you down the stairs, which is unpleasant. Gunk gunk.
Bonk,
Gunk
bonk,
gunk.
bonk.
I'm here.
Welcome back. Sapling has been captured in a net. That is all
Oh,
that has
shit.
happened. Yeah. The one just was like, all right, net time, and yeah. Sapling is now in a net. A rich, snooty looking, lanky asshole. Not the one who you really didn't like, who's like the leader of this place, but other guy has
I don't like this guy
no.
either.
Well, you shouldn't. Um good. I'm glad I'm doing my job. Um and you are brought down to what you gauge to be maybe the third floor of this building, if you had to guess. Um, and he looks at you and says, "Wait here. I'll be right back." With like a big smile on his face. And the two other guys kind of stand over you, and he walks away. Anything you'd like to do, say, or try while you're here?
I'm gonna keep gnawing at the bars of my enclosure.
Okay, make another strength check.
Don't roll poorly, you piece of ass. 17?
17. You are able to start to lift it and start to stand. Okay. I'm gonna really quick cut to Edna for a second, just because. Are you gonna have to head out here in a sec?
I
It
don't
looks
think
like.
so. I'm not sure.
Okay, because I have a thing I could do just in case. Um, but we'll see. I'll say, Edna, you're running down the stairs. Sapling, you're able to start to get out. The two guys are gonna attempt to grab you, however, as they are standing there holding guard. Holy shit! Go ahead and make an athletics check for me.
Okay.
Can you roll a 22?
Can I roll a 22?
Yeah, with strength?
No. Well,
athletics,
yeah, I
rather.
could.
Okay, then go ahead and roll it. Because the
I
one guy got a
didn't.
natural 20. Okay. They
I
basically are
rolled a
doing like a.
19.
Okay, they're doing like a
Wasting
grapple.
my fucking luck.
Yeah. And so he goes down and just the one guy grabs you. The other guy actually kind of misses and grabs like the one leg, the one horse leg. The other guy full on just grabs you by the torso. Like he is shorter than you. He just grabs upward, grabs you around the torso, and just pulls downwards and collapsing your front legs under you, just pulls you down to the ground.
Ow.
It is not pleasant, and he just holds you there. While that's happening, Edna, Seth. Edna, you can see now that you're downstairs again. You immediately see Seth crouched against one, or well, no, at this point you'd be standing next to one of these sort of assembly line cutters, a automaton, one of the smaller ones, looking like it's about to attack him, and the building is slowly catching on fire.
Edna's
What do you
going
do?
to look in his direction, yell, "We need to go." And she's going to try to yell it as loud as possible. And hopefully
Okay,
Bubbles hears her too.
I need to roll something for Bubbles. Hey Seth, thing standing over you. Your whole mouth is shattered. And you look back toward the automaton after hearing Edna saying that. Look in her direction. You look back to the automaton, and you see Bubbles do a fucking flying 1 foot kick just at this thing's side of its head. Just he's like, "I heard ya. Get out of here." So what do you do? What do you do, Seth?
He running.
You running? Okay. And Edna, are you? The front door is open, by the way. Do you both start running out the front door?
No.
No.
I'm running out the back door. I'm leaving the way we came.
The way you came. Okay. Perfect. Smart. So both of you, I'm guessing both of you go that way. Seth, you as well?
He just following.
Okay. Um the building is slowly catching fire. So it's not like fully engulfed yet, but it's starting to spread and you can see bits catching like on the catwalk above. Um
I may have pushed something I wasn't supposed to push. Glorious result, I think.
okay. So you run. Yeah, getting back in the water, I'm guessing. And you're
Yes.
okay.
Probably, maybe like if we can get to the other side. No. If we get to the other side of it and then run across the land, unless there's enough land we can run across on the other side, but I would assume not.
I mean, there is actually enough land on the other side because it's basically parallel river on either side. So you could, or parallel
Yeah,
land
we're
on
running
either side.
on. We're just getting on land and we're going.
Okay, getting on land and you're going to get away. Okay. Sapling. You are upstairs. You are being held, and then you hear the lanky asshole. You hear him say, "Let them go, gentlemen." And the two men reluctantly let you go, and you're able to stand. Do you stand?
Yes.
Okay. And he is holding an envelope in his hand. And so, to give you a perspective here, you are in the middle of a hallway. At the end of it is a door that you had been facing. That is where he had gone. He had entered the room. And as he leaves, he is holding an envelope and he holds it out to you. I was instructed to give you this for you and your group.
I'll take it.
And you can kind of see behind him to the door, light spilling out from it, and it is open. Do you look through the door?
Yes.
The man you'd initially met, who'd held the door open for you, and who was a complete asshole, the owner of this place. His neck is slit, and on his chest is a sign that hangs. And I'd say you have good perception. You'd be able to see what it says. Are you disappointed it wasn't you?
Oh.
And the man in front of you looks very pale.
Same.
Yeah. And you now have this envelope sealed with a blank seal. It's sort of like one of those stamp wax seals, but instead of any kind of design, it is just a blank circle.
Hmm.
So, what do you do? They aren't holding you anymore.
Yeah. I mean, so I've just been given this envelope, and that's it.
You've been given the envelope, and after a moment of silence, the man looks at you and says, "You may leave. We aren't to hold you. We're
Okay.
not supposed to."
Okay. And I'm just gonna leave.
Okay. So you get up and you leave. And as you leave, the man he looks pissed. He looks pale, but he looks pissed, and that he has to let you go. And so you begin to leave. You head downstairs. There's sort of like a ramp system that you can follow to head down as well. You get down to the base floor, and you can smell smoke. And you can see that on the opposite side, the factory's on fire. So I'm guessing you start heading out and just
Yep.
leaving. Okay. Start making your way toward like the main road where in Chiron would be.
Yeah.
Okay. Speaking of in Chiron, don't worry, haven't forgotten about you.
Hello.
There are no carriages that you see coming down the main road. But go ahead and make me a perception check. I'm going to say with advantage, given that you were playing lookout this whole time. This was your thing. So I'll give you advantage on it.
And I have the dark vision, so I don't even get disadvantage from it being dark outside.
Yeah, at least for so many feet.
60
However,
feet.
the building itself is pretty well lit as well, so near the building it's easy to see, and near you it's easier
Unfortunately,
to see.
it was a pretty bad roll, even with advantage. I haven't been rolling well. It was a 13.
13. We'll have to check something here then. Oh, wow. Another natural one. Okay. So, even with 13, you still do see this, as this thing that you see is not necessarily being very stealthy. You are standing there on the road. The drizzle coming down, the sky is dark, it is gray, and you watch the road, and at one point you glance toward the building as you start to hear noises. You hear sapling chanting something, you hear things happening, you see sapling get caught. Things are looking bad. There's that moment of, should I interfere? Should I engage? Then you see dropping from the top, from the sky, onto the top of the building. There's this sort of small pylon where the electricity would go through on top of the lobby building. This thing lands on top of it, and you watch as an arm reaches out and grabs, and it almost leans and looks out over everything. It's further than 60 feet. Your dark vision isn't extending that far, but you can see the faint light from the crackling of the electricity, and you can make out this lanky form. Your mind immediately thinks Lady Death. It does. The form is reminiscent. The arms are too long. The legs are wrong. They're bent at weird angles, the body thin. But you don't remember her skin being reflective. You don't remember her body being reflective. And you see, it's so hard from this distance, it's hard to make out specific details of it, except that it's thin and lanky, and that something on its body is reflecting that light. Maybe it's armor, potentially, but it's thin. And you watch it scamper down the roof, out of sight from your vision, out of the light. But then you can see it block, you see across the building as it blocks the light from windows, as it scampers along and then bursts through one of them. Almost immediately, that's about the time when Seth and Edna come into sight at like sort of a rendezvous point. You can see them as they make their way back. And then shortly after, you see, like within a couple minutes, you see Sapling coming out the building.
Well, is everyone okay? Is anyone hurt at all?
And all of you are together at this point.
I am fine. Everybody else?
Yeah.
Seth has pulled his hood over his head, and he is not going to respond.
Seth,
Seth?
are you all right?
Seth, do you do that lookup thing that Connor is doing? Okay.
Well,
Either catching
upon
the
seeing
light or
his
through dark vision,
busted face,
whole jaw.
I'm gonna hit him with a divine spark, channel divinity,
Ooh.
because I can heal with that, and it's easier to recharge than a spell slot.
True.
That's 10 healing to you, in quotes.
Healing, perfect.
I know he didn't take any damage, but it's functional.
You did take some, so it does heal that damage from before, but I will say it stops the bleeding and it stitches some of it together, but it's not quite right. It will take some healing to fully mend it, but the actual bleeding and any damage has been fixed.
Okay. Any more first aid we need to do?
I'm okay.
Okay.
All right, well, let's go.
Let's go. Bubbles. Where's Bubbles?
Bubbles kind of comes scampering up. That was fun. Why is the building on
I
fire?
bet. That's my
Building's on fire.
And then you kind of
it's
look over and you can see fire starting to lick out the front of the building.
And now we got to go.
Yes, we do.
Everyone be a careful lookout for anyone coming down the road. We'll have to get out of the way.
Yep. Before we leave, because I assume we're going to leave in a stealthy way, I'm gonna mitigate the disadvantage on my stealth checks by using enhance ability on myself.
Okay. All right. Well then, stealth check for everybody.
Because I assume we're leaving in a stealthy way.
I would assume as well.
It's a good assumption. But little did you know. Oh, fuck.
I love this game.
Finally, a good roll this night.
Okay, actually, these are not bad. These aren't bad so far. Okay, that's pretty bad, but like,
Well. Oh,
Okay.
okay.
well, that is
Look,
an average of 15.
I technically got a nat 1. Do you need to know that?
Not for ability checks,
Awesome.
though it is fun to hear.
Yeah.
Um, so that is an average, I'll just round up and be nice, of 16, which is still very good. And the rain has begun to come down a little heavier, so it does mask your escape as well. And any
This is
tracks
ruining
you can
my
kind of gauge will
shoes.
be, yeah, ruining them, definitely. But any tracks will probably be swept up by mud. You feel pretty confident you won't be followed. Um, where are you headed? Are you headed back to your cabin that you were staying at or somewhere else?
How far away from the factory is the cabin?
Um, like ooh, shit, quarter mile down the road.
I think so.
Okay. You think they're gonna check it? I feel like they're gonna check it.
Mm, I
But
don't know.
also, it's downpouring rain, and maybe we shouldn't be sprinting through it.
You
I
could
think
continue
if
at
we
your pace somewhere else and just like travel further down the road. But you didn't see any other cabins or anything, so you'd have to look for other shelter.
uh, I think if we it's it would be better to go as far as we can in the rain. It's hiding us as well as it can.
It is a good point. Well, yes, thank you. I didn't think it through enough. Let's go.
Okay. So we are going further away.
Off we go.
Mm-hmm.
Off we go.
Get the
Okay.
fuck away from here.
Off to see the wizard. The wonderful Wizard of Oz.
We're off to see
So,
the druids, the wonderful druids.
Max. Okay. So you head further down the road. With that stealth roll, you are not seen by anything. However, you do note quite a few of the automatons that were still out here making their way hurriedly down the road, sticking to the main road, not into the woods. Um, but they all seem to be heading back to base, so to speak. You do note a few of them that appear to be completely powered down in the middle of the road, some that possibly never made it back. You see possibly I would say two of those, and these are of the larger variety. Um, but are you then, once you get to what you feel a safe enough distance, are you looking for some type of place to stay, or do you want to set up a normal campsite with tents and such, just in a field?
Is it still raining?
It is still raining, yes.
I'll probably look for some kind of shelter or like dryish spot if we're gonna do a campsite for however long that's gonna take. Probably just like look for something that's covered, whether that be actually a house or something, or just like a I don't know, tree
Okay.
cover or cave cover, something.
Make a one of you make a stealth check. Or God, I keep saying stealth because I keep asking for stealth today. Perception. That's what I meant to say.
I'll do it.
All right.
23.
23. Okay. Let's think. You start to look around and you do see um off the beaten path, kind of like looking through, you find a small dry cave that you don't see anything within. It simply looks, it's less of a cave, it's more of just like there's a cliff that slightly overhangs, and with the direction of the rain, if you're underneath it, it's dry. Um, that's probably the best thing you find out here. The trees aren't thick enough to let the ground stay dry, and it does overhang quite enough. And there's kind of like a small dip, so it is like a cave that doesn't go in very far, I guess we could say. Do you want to set up there?
Sure.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you head in and you make your way and set up camp. Um, and it seems safe. Anything before rest, of course, I'll need a lookout and stuff like that as normal, but before any of that, anything you guys want to do, talk about, look at, anything you want to do.
I should probably mention. Yeah, I should probably mention what I saw and what I was given.
All right. So you set up, and that dawns on you. Oh shit. Um. Okay. So what do you say?
I'm gonna come to the group while we're still together. Nobody's going sleepy yet. So you guys didn't kill that, guy, right?
I didn't even see him.
Seth, you didn't kill him?
No, I just bit a robot.
Okay. That you shouldn't do that. Anyway, I assumed you
Eh.
guys didn't kill him. Someone did.
Oh,
Yeah, he was dead. I saw like well, I saw his body. Very not pretty, but I saw like a note or a note. It said something like what was it? Disappointed it wasn't you or something. I don't know what that means. That's kind of weird. Um, but I also was given this envelope uh by some like pale guy who said that it was for all of us. I haven't opened it yet, but I will.
uh,
I will open it.
I think I may have seen the person that killed them. The outside, they were reflective and odd. It was dark out. I didn't see much else.
Cause a vampire.
Twilight vampire, sparkly.
Yes.
You. Do I recognize the symbol on
Oh, say again. The symbol on what?
the envelope?
The stamp itself on the back of the wax seal is the only real symbol. It
Yeah.
is simply as if the person who did it used uh, a wax stamp with no symbol on it. It is just
Okay.
a circle. There is no symbol whatsoever, rather the
Well
lack
then,
of one.
also before anyone opens it, I'm gonna cast a quick detect magic and see if it's magical.
Smart. None
Envelope of
whatsoever.
fireball.
It would be
Okay.
funny.
It,
There's no
it,
magic.
it should be safe to open. Unless there's actual poison. Magical. There's
I could
nothing
open it.
magical about it. That
No,
might be.
no, it's fine. I got it. Tired of this kid throwing himself in harm's way. I'm opening the letter.
Okay. So before Seth can put himself in more danger, you open the letter and you open the envelope. And rather than any kind of letter or anything like that, there is simply. Sorry, I have to count real quick because I forgot numbers. 5 pieces of paper. They are thin and long. Do you pull them out?
Pieces of what?
Paper.
Okay, yeah. I'll
They
pull
are
them out.
all identical. Each of them is identical, very colorful and mainly silvers and golds. They are tickets. And on the top, it says, "You have been invited to the Twin Moons Ball at the Von Ripley
Oh no,
Estate."
not again.
It was. Haha.
The Twin Moons Ball at the Von Ripley Estate, and it does give a date. It says it is the 17th Vargithri, and then the current year, which I never really told you guys what date it was, but I have it here. That is in a week and 2 days from today. Thank you for typing that in, No Mike. That is helpful.
I also wrote it down.
Awesome. Notes are
Oh, I
good.
didn't write down the date.
17th
That might be a
Vargithri,
good idea.
which, I made a calendar. I might as well use it, right?
Please
The
do.
day of the week is Azael, if you're interested.
Wow.
Yeah, I named the fucking days of the week when I made this calendar like years ago. Yeah.
Beautiful.
I'm so happy that my immediate theory was correct.
Possibly, but we'll see.
There's two people that I think it could be, and I don't think you're correct.
Oh, fun.
That's fun. I'm so excited to see what you think it is. Um, okay. Well, you have enough tickets for your group for the ball. That is in a week and 2 days. So
Do I know anything about the Von Ripleys?
you could make a history check.
I will. I've been around for a while. I lived in Kingsport. They had some presence there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. That's an 8.
An 8. I would say you know about as much of them as a standard person in the real world would know of someone like Bill Gates. You know what they did.
They're rich.
You know they're a rich family. Um, you know that they throw extravagant parties and that they own a very large trade business.
Oh, wow.
In Chiron,
Yes.
what's a ball?
It's like a fancy party. We're going to need to get you some new clothes, and you and probably you as well.
New clothes. Again.
Yes, some fancier, nicer clothes
For a fancy
Yeah.
stuck-up party.
yes.
Won't that be expensive?
Well, I'm sure we can. There's some weaver's tools. I'm sure I could. At least for you, yours would be the most expensive, likely. There's a week we can do a bastion turn for that.
Hooray.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you have tickets to a fancy party.
Ooh.
Okay. Any other conversations before rest? Or other things you'd like to do?
I do,
He's
but I need to
actually says-
run.
Okay.
Hmm.
That's fair.
I'll be
that
back
you
in
leave
like
your
5
work and-
seconds. I'll be fine. I just need to go feed my fish.
Oh, okay. Fair.
Yeah.
The fish feeder.
Fish feeder.
Seth is going to kind of look at Chiron again. Do you know anything about bots? Other shit like that?
I can't say I do. I'm more aligned with the magical, mechanical. But I have been helping a little Valve, so maybe.
He's gonna hand the weird thing he found inside of the automaton over to Chiron. Do you know what that thing is? I pulled it out of one of the things.
Okay. Make a investigation check.
Right. And I have kind of been researching robots recently as well.
True.
Come on. Pallid Elf Ancestry is pulling me through on that one. 16.
16. Okay. You start to kind of look it over, and it's maybe about the size of like a, I don't know, like about this big, like about wide. It's a decent size, but it's not huge. Like a Arizona tea can. Um, There you go. And it has metal casing, seems mostly hollow, so it's actually rather light, with glass on two sides of the long side. Um, it is entirely empty, but you can see the faint crackle of blue within, as if there's still faint something. On one end, there are two metal, look like rods, like it would plug into something. And you kind of gather from a little bit that you've read about in the journal that you've been studying, this is something that was thought about as like it was called a battery, an arcane battery. It could store arcane energies, usually electrical, but could be others, and can store them for a time before being released um, under certain conditions.
Well, it's a battery. Magical energy sometimes. Let me try something. I'm gonna take it, and I'm not gonna do this with a level spell yet. I'm gonna try casting Word of Radiance into it.
Word of Radiance. Okay. I'd have to look at exactly. Let me look at Word of Radiance here, so I can kind of describe what happens. And this is a cantrip. Yeah, it's a cantrip. Interesting. So the bluish energy is still there, but is fading. And this sort of golden, divine light emanates from the inside, almost kind of making it look like a lantern in a way, that emanates light for a short distance. But it fades very quickly. Like it's there for maybe 5 seconds, 6 seconds, I'll say, before fading.
Oh.
You get the idea, and kind of from that little experiment, something like a cantrip, it'll store it just only for maybe a round. And then it could be released, but it would have to by the next round, per se, as a cantrip.
Well, I'm gonna try something different then, because this is fun. It's fun playing around.
Agreed.
I'm gonna try casting a Cure Wounds into it.
All right. And what level spell slot do you use for that?
Just level 1.
Stays around for about 12 seconds.
Huh. Well, it seems like the more magical energy you put into it, the better it holds the energy, and then it can be then its output.
Do you think it could be used for a valve or something?
We can likely find a use for it, yes.
Cool. I'm glad I found something maybe useful.
Yes, you did a very good. I'm going to give him a little, like, hair ruffle.
Okay. I love that I came up with a magic item on the fly. It's great. Um, wasn't even supposed to be. I forgot you brought that thing with you. I was like, ah, shit, whatever. Yeah, I have a way to use this. Okay. Well, I know Nora had something but had to feed fish. Oh, are you back?
I'm back.
Possibly. Hey, awesome. So you had
Okay.
something you wanted to do as well.
Another thing for Chiron.
All right.
So just well for clarification, the thing that was doing the electricity was from it looked like a thing from Kingsport, you said? Was
The
that the
big
city or was that a
gem.
different city?
The big gem, yes. It looked like it was the thing that powered the city of Kingsport, just much, much, much smaller.
Okay. And it's gonna go up to Chiron. And Chiron, I saw something interesting in there that you might want to know about.
Oh,
Or you
yes.
might have an opinion about. Do you remember the the things that were being mined in Kingsport for electricity.
Ah, yes, the in the cogs, yes.
Yes, there was one in there, which was powering the wheel. They were drilling into it, and that's what was powering their whole shebang. I
Hmm.
won't tell you what I did, but let's just say it didn't take the floor so well, and that may be the reason there's a burning. But this is
Ah.
speculation.
Yes, that makes some sense.
I just figured you might want to know, but I'm not sure what to do with the information currently.
I'm not certain either. Do you think it... Certainly some of the pieces might have found their out. I don't know. It's... um...
Well, in any case, it's certainly troublesome.
It is.
Anyways, figured I would share it with you. Otherwise, I'm going to get some rest.
Yes, It's certainly been a day.
Certainly.
Okay. Anything else for anybody? Anyone else want peepaw time? Or other time?
Hmm?
No? Okay. Well, I do need somebody for watch.
Me.
Oh,
Seth wants
no.
watch. Seth, he was fast.
Ah,
It's like me immediately.
Legit, as soon as
you.
Sapling starts speaking up to take watch, he like growls at him.
Oh,
No, to be fair, there could be 2 watches if you want. It's up to you.
yeah,
First
fuck
watch and
you.
second.
Your watch too.
Okay. So Sapling, you'll be second watch. Okay. This is Seth. Yeah, perception check, please.
That's an 8. He be really distracted by the new shit from healing. I guess because that's shit.
Like a snake. The mouth just kind of just opens all the way back to here at this point. It's a little weird. And it's like healed. The flesh from the healing did heal. It just isn't. It's not healing right. It's weird. Um, and it's an interesting detail because you heal yourself occasionally, and you receive healing magic. And for most people, that'll like sew up the wounds. But for you, that doesn't quite happen all the time. Sometimes it'll just heal, but it's wrong. It'll heal incorrectly, and sometimes the things that heal back you didn't have in the first place. As if your body's just kind of changing as you heal. It's an interesting thing you've noticed. Um, so much so that you don't notice anything else that's going around, going at the same time. You don't see anything of concern. You do get like this shiver down your spine at one point, but you don't see anything. The rain coming down kind of creates a sheet just past your line of vision. Can't really see past. But your watch goes by for you without issue. Sapling, you eventually get up for your end of watch.
Yay.
Go ahead and make me a perception check.
Yay. I have regrets. I don't want that thing to come back.
Oh, of course not. The thing.
The creature.
The creature.
The creature. That is a 21.
The first thing you see are eyes.
Oh, okay.
Oh, God. The first thing you see are eyes. There's rain. It comes down in sheets. And immediately your eyes, in between the droplets of water, you almost mistake it for just more drops of water. They're white. They're moving slightly. But they're moving wrong. They're moving differently. And they're not close. They're far. Practically at the end of the tree line from where you are, it's dozens of feet away. But just these two white dots that are moving and stop as you lock eyes. These aren't just eyes, these are white points of light, but they have to be eyes because they're connected to a head and a body, obscured by the rain. You can't even make out a form from this distance in the darkness. It's too far away. And the rain obscures it enough, but it's just there and it's watching. And it begins to move away, getting further, and leaving, but without moving its eyes from you. It just
Ugh.
moves away. Something is seeing you,
I don't
but it
like
doesn't
that.
do anything. And nothing happens after that for the rest of watch. So what do you do? Anything, or do you just let the watch finish?
Well, it's backing away.
Leaving?
I'm white. I want to go check that out.
Okay. So you make your way out into the rain, and you make your way towards it. Are you going quickly?
Not really. I don't want to startle it.
Okay. Make me another perception check.
You
This time it is with disadvantage due to the now heavier rainfall.
back you. Damn! Oh, it's so much worse. Okay, that's fine. 14.
14. Actually, I apologize. What was your first roll?
It was the same thing. It was a 21.
21. Because actually, I had the rules backwards. It would get advantage on its stealth. You just roll normally. Okay. So we'll go with the 21.
Yay!
So you start to follow, start to investigate. As you follow, it is getting further away. It is faster than you anticipated. And even if you speed up a little bit, it seems to just keep pace away from you. The eyes never leaving. It is heading directly away from you, and the eyes never leave. They just stare directly at you.
Ew.
And then it stops backing away and starts going upwards into a tree
What the fuck?
and clambering up, and the eyes never leave you. And then it disappears into the branches and leaves. And you can still see until it darts away, jumping from tree to tree. And you can hear it. Do you attempt to continue to pursue?
Ew.
Yeah?
Um,
You're getting a little far from camp at this point, just to let you know. But you tell me, do you want to keep going?
no, I don't want to go out and get lost.
Okay. Make your way back?
Yeah.
Okay. There's a moment you swear you see those eyes again as you peek over your shoulder. But they're gone so quick you're not 100% sure. But you make your way back to camp and the rest of your watches goes without issue. But every time you close your eyes for the next little bit, you swear you see them again when you open them, but then they're gone. There was something watching you, and it was about as tall as you were, maybe a little taller.
Gross.
The rest of the watch goes by, morning comes, and all of you wake, all of you getting a long rest.
Yeah.
And the rain, by morning, has stopped.
Yay, hooray.
Yay.
Okay. So, morning comes. What's the plan?
Well, I suppose we should get back to Valve. It's been some time. We can see if our not so friend has left the city and do some shopping. Clothes shopping.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. So travel begins. All right. As you begin your travel back, Seth, you get this just uneasy feeling as you're leaving your camp and heading toward the road. You find yourself kind of glancing up at the trees. You feel like you're being watched, but you don't see anything. But you feel eyes on you. And then the feeling dissipates. Can you make a wisdom save for me?
Uh-oh.
I heard S'more smack the door with her face again.
I did too.
That's a natural
Adorable.
one.
The natural one, what's the total?
4.
4. Okay. You know, maybe you didn't see anything. And you continue walking.
Just by the by, as we set off, I'm gonna mention the weird eyes. Just like, hey, look out for that. It was weird.
Is that like as of this moment, or would that have happened as you were leaving?
As we go. As we set off.
Okay. Okay. So you continue on. And you walk. You go. You hit the road. And start making your way back to your bastion. At this point, I do need one of you to be sort of the travel lookout, the eyes who watch as you go.
I suppose I can be the eyes who watch as we go.
Okay. And you, as the eyes who watch as you go, who will roll a perception check.
Yep. A 12.
A 12. Okay. You go and you start to see as the tree line thickens, you do see, while still near to the logging encampment somewhat, you do see more of these powered down machines along the road in the tree line, unmoving, unpowered. And you do see at one point, as you're traveling down this road, you see that strange vehicle, that automotive in the middle of the road. You see two bodies lying next to it. One, a big, burly man in armor, looking like some type of bodyguard. The other, a lankier, younger man who's in a driver's attire, sort of like a carriage driver's attire. The vehicle is unmoving, and the door is ripped off its hinges. The passenger door.
Oh.
A violent struggle happened here, and this is a good couple miles past where you just set up camp. There's no sign of a struggle other than the bodies and the door being ripped off, however, as if these people were killed quickly. There is no large scuffle that happened here.
We should probably keep moving.
Okay. So you keep moving. You don't see anything else of note on your way. You see the normal stuff you would expect to see. A few animals here and there, none of which come close to your group. Other than a squirrel who peels off and starts to head for Seth. But then Bubbles chirps something at it, and it looks at him and turns around and leaves.
The squirrel goes. Squinty face.
I'm really starting to like you, Bubbles.
They really don't like you.
Noticed. Still not taking off the wraps, though.
All right. And so you keep on keeping on. And eventually, it is again about a day's journey. Do you try to push through and get there before nightfall, or do you? Because if not, you would have to take one more camp before arriving.
Seth vouches push.
What about the rest of you?
Well, if
Sure.
Seth vouches for it, I suppose we can.
Keep on chucking.
Keep on. Okay. And so with that, you do go at a slightly faster pace. However, you are able to reach Valve's location just as night is beginning to fall. And waiting there, having their dinner for the evening, is the other group. Sam, Marcus, Byron, who you had left the ring with, correct? The ring of regeneration?
Yes, I did.
Okay, well then in that case, as you approach, he looks at you and says, "Hello, how are you?"
Oh, very good, very good.
"I'm not used to having this thing in my mouth." And he takes off the ring and holds it out to you.
I will. No problem at all. Now that I have that again.
He kind of like rolls his tongue around his mouth. It's going to take a while.
Speaking of giving things back to people, Seth seeing that will give you back your earring of message.
Got it.
And Kyron gets his things back. And yeah, the rest of them are down there as well. Max and Felicity. I think that's everybody. But yeah, they're all down there and they greet you all, open arms, and offer you dinner if you wish. There is an assortment. It's nothing super fancy, but they kind of look and see Seth and go, "One moment." And Max walks over towards like their little cold cabinet and pulls out just a piece of fish. "Do you need it cooked?" "I don't remember."
He's just gonna straight up take it.
Take it, eat it. Okay. There's food for the rest of you as well. And yeah. You have food if you wish. And what are you all doing now? Now that you've arrived, you're back home.
While
We're back
he's munching
home.
on the fish in the midst of bites, we got invited to a weird thing.
Byron's gonna look and say, "What weird thing?"
We got invited to a ball. Von Ripley is.
The Von Ripley. Fuck. In your head, you hear the Von Ripleys.
Yes.
And Max is going to say, Max speaks up and says, "The Von Ripleys, Interesting. Are you planning to go?
I believe so. We were invited.
I would be cautious of them. They are dangerous people. They can be, anyway. The Von Ripleys are. If you're on their good graces, which if you got an invitation you must be for some reason, then you probably have no issue, but dangerous people to cross.
I wasn't aware.
They can be helpful. However, I will say their head of house at the current moment has helped Felicity here, and he kind of motions over towards the tiefling man. Although that's a story in itself. But definitely don't cause issues in their house. They don't take kindly.
All right, I will make sure that don't cause any. I look at Seth and Edna particular when I say that.
You know, I've ignored
Rude.
invitations before. I don't have to go. I could save you the headache.
No, you're part of our group. Our group was invited.
I'd say I'm in the same side of this as you, but I'm actually kind of excited. I'd never been to something like that.
It's so exciting.
I'll do my best not to speak at the event.
Mm-hmm.
Lest I say something to make the rich and powerful mad.
Seth's gonna look over at Max. Was the one talking before?
Correct.
Max and Felicity. So you know them then?
Max will respond. We have met, yes, on a couple of occasions.
And he looks at Felicity. So it's a story, huh?
Felicity will not quite look at you, but just kind of in your general direction. It was. I was in need of help, and they offered it. It's. Maybe another time. It's a story that's hard to relive at times. But I can say, and he kind of looks over at Max, I think you can trust them. I do. They are dangerous people, yes, but they are often people of their word. Although I will say the head of house is a bit eccentric. You'll see what I mean.
He's gonna kind of lean over to Chiron. What does that word mean?
It means he's a little strange.
Oh. We're strange.
Yes, we are.
Max will kind of look to you and say, can I ask how exactly you got these tickets? I've never heard of random adventurers like yourselves being invited to said balls. Normally it is the rich and elite of the region.
Sapling.
Ooh. I was given an envelope by some stranger, and it had these in them.
Well, if a random stranger gave you an envelope with tickets to the Von Ripley Ball, and one of the more important ones as well, the Twin Moon Ball, you must have caught their eye for one reason or another. After all, it's called the Twin Moons because if you check your star charts, that is when both moons will be at their fullest. A time of great magical power, and often important events take place around that time. So, whatever you did to catch their eye, good luck. God damn it.
I do kind of wonder what we did. I mean, is there anything we could have done?
I don't really know what you guys did. I mean, as far as yesterday. Wait, yesterday? Yeah. I don't know. All I did was yell a lot and run around.
I just bit one of the things.
I did most of the damage.
I didn't do much.
I didn't hear any plans and didn't participate in anything.
Yes, we kept Kenku purposefully in the dark. He was very mad at us afterward.
Yes, very disapproving.
Well, that's good to hear that you have deniability.
Yes, I thought if I were to represent, I would have to.
Although you technically did hear all of it here, so well, I don't know anything. I
You
also
know he
claim
didn't.
Tell you the
deniability.
truth.
And you didn't hear anything either.
You're right. I heard nothing.
Mm-hmm.
All you heard was drivel and lies. We wouldn't tell you the truth.
You're right. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
And then the gladiator looking one, Marcus, he's gonna pipe up and say, "See, I heard everything, and next time you better invite me.
I like you.
I would very much like to break some things."
It's okay. No one really got the. I'm not gonna stop talking.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Ask me about this in 2 weeks when I feel less bad, or less wary of getting caught.
I will. I'll remember that. God damn it. Oh, well, anything else you'd like to discuss or do for the rest of the evening?
Do you know where we could go for clothes? Like, real fancy shit. Not me. Them.
Max will kind of think for a moment. There is a place. Oh, what is it called? It's in the finer district, near the really fancy restaurant. Stone Giant owns it. It's in that region. Uh, fuck, what was its name? I believe it goes by Bernard's Boutique. Um, however, it used to go by Threads. Long time ago. Um, I would go check there. They usually have a lot of fine clothes. Deal with higher class higher class clientele.
Guess we could, go there and find some stuff for you guys. In Chiron, are we gonna find me something and you're just gonna change it? Or
Maybe. See how, as we.
Do I have to dress up like that?
Yes, you do.
Hmm.
I'll be suffering with you.
But aren't clothes like that really stiff, uncomfortable?
I'll make sure that yours are not too comfortable.
Okay. Fine.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. Well, anything else for the remainder of the evening? Okay. I guess I do want to ask because you guys have a little over a week and a couple days. There are some things, some shopping, and the making of clothes. We'll do a bastion turn in that time. Um, Stuff like that. But that all kind of happens throughout the week. Do we still want to take the week and almost a half a day at a time, or do we want to skip over some days and just kind of like do things as they happen?
We can skip around to important things.
Okay.
Like, for
And
example,
shopping.
if we're doing a new bastion,
You cut out
my
horribly. I didn't
I can
catch anything.
complete my research from the.
You complete the research
Your
from
research from the
oh
There.
from the last one. Yes, yes, you can. You can complete your research from the last one. It really did not want you to get that out.
It
Um,
didn't. It didn't want me to say anything.
it's actually not been like there was a minute there where it was bad before, but like it's been generally pretty okay today. Um, so that's good. But okay. So yes, you're able to go through during the Bastion turn and do so. And I think what I'll do, looking at the time, I will give you a little more in-depth stuff about that. Um, Probably next session, because next session we'll do like a lot of the Bastion turn and stuff like that. I think I want to finish up this session. You all are going to rest. You're settling down for bed. Oh, sorry, I was looking at something. Um, sorry, I just read what you put in no mic. That's great. Um, so y'all settle down for bed and taking your deep breaths and resting in a comfortable spot for the first time in a few days. It's been almost 3 days, roughly, since you guys left. It was about a day there, day back. There was a few times you rested in between, so it's about 3 days. And you settle down into more comfortable beds, spaces that are tailored to you. And there's a breath, there's a moment of comfort and clarity and calm. And I'm going to say sapling. As you're settling down to bed, Seedling pops in and says, "Oh, you're back. I didn't see you come back. I was outside.
how.
I wasn't here. Sorry. Um, well, how did it go? Are you okay?
uh, yeah, it was okay. There was it was a lot, honestly. But it was okay. I'm fine.
Is sapling lying?
Maybe.
Make a deception check. They're gonna insight your ass.
Okay. Darn, I'm really good at them. It's a 16.
Okay. Seedling just kind of looks at you squinty eye for a minute and then just loosens and smiles. Says, "Well, if you say you're okay, I trust you." And comes and sits over next to you. So, I heard downstairs, I heard someone say something about a ball. Gonna get all
Oh,
dressed
yeah.
up.
Yeah, we got some tickets to a ball with the, what was it? Von Ripley's. Apparently, really important people.
Sounds
I don't
kind of
know why.
hoity-toity to me.
It does. It sounds kind of hoity-toity, but it sounds really exciting. I mean, I've never been to anything like that, obviously. I didn't get up to that much crazy stuff while we were apart.
Well, I think you'll look great. You'll have to let me know how it is.
Yeah, I'll have to tell you all about it.
Oh, while you were gone, I wanted to tell you, I went into the city and I found this really nice flower shop. They have some really uh kind of interesting stuff that you might not have found that I've never seen before. I thought maybe sometime we'd go check it out.
Oh, yes. I want to check it out. I want to try growing some plants here. I haven't had much time to recently.
Oh, well, I mean, if you've got some time to spare, now's a good time. Or at least, tomorrow maybe.
Yeah, maybe tomorrow.
And kind of smiles and says, "Well, I'm gonna get going to bed, but maybe tomorrow we could head out and check that out."
Yeah.
Kind of gives you a big old smile and gives you a hug. Says, "Welcome back," and
Aw.
then gets and goes to bed. Um, I'll say Ulrich at some point joins you. Um, and then the night closes out. Unless there's anything else you'd like to do.
I'm good.
Okay. Edna, you gather yourself, head up to your room, and again, comfortable in comparison. Um, though you're more used to, wooded stuff than and sleeping in the woods than maybe someone else. Um, but it is still comfortable here. And is there anything specific you do before bed?
Nothing specific.
Okay.
Besides just like, I don't know. Yeah, nothing specific.
Hmm.
I'll probably check out the window to see if there's any birds that look funny at me.
You read my mind. As you go over to your window, you see that there's an owl resting just outside of the window on the ledge, and it has in its mouth, in its beak, has a letter.
We just got the lead.
Do you take said letter?
Yes.
Okay. Take it, and opening it up, you can see that it is a letter written in the same script as the first one you'd gotten. And it simply says, "More than we were expecting, possibly more than we wanted, but you got the job done. Good job." And once you finish reading this, about that time, the owl um, goes kind of like off to the side of the window behind it, grabs something else in its beak, and sets in front of you a pouch. With great effort, it sets a pouch in front of you, like its neck craning to set it down, and sets it down in front of you.
I'm opening it up. What's in there?
In there is gold coins, and if you take the time to count them, um, there is 350 gold pieces.
Nope. I like these guys.
And there is a small, like, little note attached to the edge of that that says, "There is more on the way if you continue to work for us."
Well, I think I found employment.
Okay. God damn it. Okay. Well, there we go. Hold on. I'm blurry as fuck for some reason again. I'm back in the fucking building again. There we go. Okay. In Chiron. I'll move on to you and Seth, technically next, because you both sleep in the same room. And so both of you head up to the room. Is there anything either of you wish to do before bed? I have, again, something for each of you, but before that happens.
I don't think so. Not before bed, other than just getting ready, making sure, getting in my pajamas, tea on, getting sleep,
Oh, of course.
time in a while.
Okay. And Seth, what about you? No?
Kind of messes with his nest a little bit, gets it comfy, and plop.
Blah. Okay. Well, then you both get ready for bed. In Chiron, you are getting ready for bed and just make an intelligence check for me.
Natural 1 for a total of 3.
You keep having this just in your mind this image that you saw before your companions came out of that building, the factory, of that thing on the roof. And you're just trying to rack your brain at what it might be, thinking back on all of the things that happened over those few days. Seeing Lady Death again, but it couldn't have been her. And you're just racking your brain and you can't figure it out. You need more information. But you settle down for bed and think of the plans that you have throughout this week, the week of time that you have. But at least now you can do those plans in a modicum of more comfort. Seth, make an intelligence check.
$19.
19. You sit there and kind of think to yourself, first off, how does Seth feel about that man being dead? And how does he feel about him being dead and the party having nothing to do with it?
He doesn't like it. It worries him quite a bit, actually.
Okay. And so you're sitting there, that worry. Who could have done it? Why? And that message, aren't you disappointed it wasn't you? It feels directed at you. The party, specifically. Not just you specifically, but it feels directed. It feels whoever did it left it for you so that you would see it. You know that because who else would have seen it? Who else would have been there to do somebody that might have wanted to do someone harm but you guys? And then something bursting through the window, according to Chiron, right before Sapling was brought up there. Why? But you know for certain it was directed at you, that message. And you're positive it wasn't Lady Death, given the description. even though vague, even though with little detail. And then you connect the fact that Sapling saw something and that you felt something that night, and you know whatever it is was stalking you. Though you know you're safe here, nothing has followed you here. But you have a feeling you'll see whatever it is again. And I think, though about 10 minutes early, I think we're going to wrap up there as all of you go to bed.
Yay!
Well, I hope you all enjoyed. Thank you all for playing. Thank you all for watching. And that's where we're going to end stream.